You Hi, happy Tuesday, everyone. We are back on our regular scheduled time and day. um, we made some adjustments to fit some schedules, but we are back on a Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Make sure that you are sharing the live so that the story of tonight's guest can be heard and he can be seen all over our internet and YouTube channels. But other than that, what's been going on? Drop your comment below. Let me know you're in the room. And yeah, let's get to it. Few announcements. Don't forget that this Friday in Tallahassee, Florida, will be Mr. and Miss Tallahassee Pride honoring Adariah as well as Smacks. And also the big, beautiful gala with capital T with Vache Aviance. So if you are in Tallahassee, that begins at 4:30. Yes, 4:30. So make sure you're on time for that. I believe the pageant begins at 6. It's in Tallahassee, Florida. If she happens to come on before 7, cool. She can talk more about it. She was invited, but if not, then you can always hit her up for any information about that. And if you are interested, live in the area, want an extra $1,000, hit up the king and queen or the owner and get down to Tallahassee and get that. Also on next Monday is the Sasha Sanchez, I believe it's her 10-year is it 10 year or 8 year? I think it may be 10 year. I don't know. But it's the anniversary of her charity event that she has with a star-studded cast of entertainers from all over the country. I believe we have Tasha Long, Tommy Ross, I want to say Angelica Sanchez, Chantel DeMarco, the Rulers will be there. I'll be there myself. So many. Archie Bonet, hosted by Naisha and Sophia. So if you are able to come out next Monday at 10 o'clock at the Heretic, come out and support Sasha's charity event, which she gives back every year. And then next Saturday is King and Queen pageant out in New Orleans. So that's a big event that everyone goes to and comes to and has a great time with the new King and Queen. We're going to see if the reigning will defend their title, if it will, let it go, and definitely want to be there to support the great Aja is returning back to pageantry for her last rodeo. So shouts out to Aja. And of course, the peoples will be there walking. So make sure you see us, take pictures of us, and just have a good time. So that's going on. And then I think that's it for announcements. It's the end of the year. So how was everyone's Thanksgiving? Did you eat? Christmas is coming up. Have you started shopping? Is your tree up? All of that good stuff. And then, of course, we'll start back at the top of the year with all types of things going on. We put out a flyer, the ruler, Katrina Davenport Dupree, the grand ruler, rather, Miss Cosmopolitan Elegance, Tanisha Iman, as well as Miss Bold, International Vogue, plus Stanisha Bonet Dupree. Gosh, what is going on? And myself will be doing a charity event feeding the homeless on Sunday, the 25th of January, Woodruff Park, downtown Atlanta. So if you would like to come out and help us feed the homeless, or if you want to send a donation, you can reach out to any one of us and send your donation through their system, whether it's a system donation, whether it's a personal donation, individual. We were taking all that. So yeah. And so that's going on. So I do have my special guest in. She wants to come in and speak briefly about this weekend. So let me get her on. Hold on just a moment. Liz,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad you came on. I just did a small, brief announcement about this Friday, but I want you to go ahead before I bring on my guest, go ahead and tell us everything we need to know about Friday. Go.
Well, thank you so much for this time to speak. On this Friday, this is Capital T's second annual gala. We're going to be having our Mr. and Miss Tallahassee Pride pageant. It is a fundraiser for our organization, Capital T, which is a trans organization where we provide services, housing, and all kinds of things. So we really appreciate the community coming together and supporting us throughout the whole year. So this weekend, we're going to have a great time. We're going to have lots of food. There's going to be some free drinks there. It's a formal event. We're going to have the Mr. portion and the Miss portion. It's going to be a great time. So, and you're able to give throughout the whole event. So please, 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 this is a fundraiser. So if you guys want to give a little something to Capital T, please visit www.capitalt.org. That's where you could donate and give. And just, yeah, thank you so much for this time. I know I was a little late. I was just sitting in the background. I'm like, should I be pressing this button or what?
Yeah, you
So,
fine, sis. So I will definitely be there. My sister is having me at her event. Thank you so much. So I'm at your beckoning call. Whatever you need from me or of me, I am there on Friday. And so we'll go from there.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. You're going to have a great time.
I know.
It's going to be good. It's going to be
So
good.
anything this week, I definitely keep posting and sending people to the page that you sent me to the website. So you can be looking for that. And we'll definitely keep posting the flyer and getting that out there. So I look forward to seeing you on Friday. I'll let you know when I make it and we'll go from there with everything.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. You have a good one, sis. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank
So yeah, if you're in Tallahassee, please come out and support my sister and everything. You can't see me? Y'all can't see me? That's interesting. But yeah, so that's that. I can see myself on the computer. And then so I don't know where I don't know if Wendell's coming tonight or not. I haven't spoken to him all weekend actually. But oh, now he wants to come. Thanks for joining.
Well, it's not on now. I just got in. But hi, how are you? How was your day?
Thanks for joining. My day was great. How are
That's
you?
good. I'm good. Productive.
Mm-hmm.
You look
Any
nice.
announcements before we bring on our guest? Because our guest was here before me.
That's good. That's amazing. Just happy post World AIDS Day. I hope that everyone took part in something, but more than everything, I hope that everyone is encouraging people to be tested and understand that being tested is your business. Whatever happens with that is your business, as long as you take care of your business and maintain a healthy life and a healthy living. That's it.
Yeah, we had a great event last night. A shout out to Dwayne Crowder, A Vision for Hope, Katrina Davenport Dupree, and Best Friends for putting on this oh, they were saying we can't wait to see you. Okay. Shouts out to them for putting on this great event last night at Best Friends. It was a gala slash a show, of course, a
It looked
gala slash
nice.
dinner dialogue. It was really, really nice. Awards were given out, and then of course at the end they had a show with Stanisha, Monica, myself, and Amaya. And so
Y'all
that
looked
was really
amazing. You and Amaya did really, really good. Like it was really,
that
really
it what's
good.
so crazy about it is we did not practice that. Everyone's like, "Oh, y'all are so like, no, we didn't even practice that. Like, I didn't even know what sweet.
Well,
You know, we never.
y'all were there. Like
Yeah, yeah.
y'all were there. And shout outs to in Houston. I spoke on a few panels yesterday. Allies in Hope and Pride 360, Pride Houston 360. Thank y'all for the invite. It was a great time. So I'm glad that we all had great productive evenings.
Productive days. We have a
Productive.
great guest next week, y'all. Wendell will be in control of that interview next week, so I can't wait. I can't wait for that. Because y'all liked when he did Julian's, so he's gonna do his guest next week. I think it's very befitting. But question, because we have a couple of more minutes for 7. Are you still competing next weekend?
I am.
Okay, so talk to us about that because you're very quiet.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be talking about it now if you wouldn't have just brought it up.
Well, you want your supporters to come out. You want anybody who maybe want to send
No,
you a
I'm really
dollar.
excited. So I am. I'm doing Diamond of the South on next weekend, on next Friday actually. So I'm really excited. I really put a lot of me into this, and that's like something I rarely do. So I feel really good. I have a great support team. My people have bought like 5 tables. So I'm like really excited because they're excited. So I'm like, got me more excited. So it's gonna be a move. And I hope that people just really enjoy what I'm presenting because this is like the first time that I really just invested in like did exactly what I wanted to do all the way around. And I'm like really excited about it.
So you're trying to be someone else's accessory besides me.
No, I'm not trying to be anyone's accessory. I think there's a misconception there, but that'll be for the King's Corner. But I think there's a misconception because I do agree and I understand concept. Well, I do because
Yeah,
we
I know
reigned
you
together for
agree.
2 years.
Right.
So I'm okay with being, with being the person to hold and support my queen. But I think that there is something very diminishing about calling it an earring or an accessory. I think it's okay to just say, hey, you should be there to support. You don't have to compete with her. You should allow her because y'all both can shine in your own way. I think the problem is when people say an earring, you might as well call me a damn nail or a pair of stockings. So I think it's okay to just say a support. And don't try and be Lily Rubin, just be Mr. Rubin, and I think that's okay. You don't have, that's my only thing. So I don't think anything is wrong with understanding that the female is really who everybody comes to see. Everybody want to see the woman, right? But we
Yeah,
spend
no,
our money for these pageants.
I don't always agree with that though. That
Well, I
everyone
mean,
just
well, it
comes to
depends
see.
on who the queen is, first off. But it's like we spend our money to compete in these pageants also. So don't diminish it to just that of an accessory because I didn't do just one category to win the pageant. I had to do all the same categories. And last time I checked, we paid the same entry fee. We probably got the same thing when we won. So
Right.
to just minimize it is what I think the problem is. So it's okay to say you should be there to support your queen and be okay with that. And that's a beauty in it, but don't
Yeah.
say an accessory
Right.
because that
Shouts out
sounds
to
like something that can be replaced.
yeah. Shouts
You
out to
know that
Flame.
from when you did Miss, I'll leave it there, but when you did Miss Renaissance for swimsuit, one of your shoes messed up, right? And
Mhm.
you walked off the stage and walked back on with the shoe with another pair of shoes on, right?
Mhm.
That means that accessory was easily replaced.
Mhm.
Just so
Well,
you know.
I feel like I was always groomed. I remember my mom telling my sister, and of course I'm listening. A woman never leaves home without her earrings on, so that completes the look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, but King window was if we're looking at our kings being accessories, and we'll talk to Andre about this. I think that he'll have some great conversation about this. Window was a great accessory all year long. Now he was a mess, and y'all would never know about it. But as far as his duties as the king, when it came to me, I don't think it's gonna get no better. I really don't. Or it hasn't gotten any better. But yeah, well, I haven't had anyone. But yeah, he was definitely a great accessory.
Well, thank you.
Shouts out to Flame. Shouts out to Smacks. Come and see him this Saturday. I mean this
And you
Friday.
were amazing, queen. Give it up for my queen. And I don't care what nobody say about me or her. I love her, and I hope she loves me.
Child,
But the
they
beauty
love
is,
me too.
it's
They
easy to be
love
a
you. They,
great,
you know they love me too. They just need somebody to talk. So
but it's easy to be a great king to a great queen if the queen is great. And
yeah,
I'll leave that there. But if
yeah.
your queen is lackluster on the eyes, should the mister try and be ugly? Or if the queen don't have no talent, should the king act like he don't have no talent? Or if the queen have no fashion sense and she want to wear black everywhere that moo should the king wear moo because he don't want to overdo the queen? Like at some point we have to say, okay, well, I won by myself. We decided to reign together when we were crowned together. But I competed by my own pennies and my own nickels and my own dimes. But I should be okay with knowing that my queen's crown is bigger than mine.
Right. And you're going to have a king's court about this topic, correct?
I mean, I don't know
Okay.
if it's worth it. Like I really don't know if it's worth it because some people are just stuck in their
I think it is. I
mindset.
think it's something, but that's your niche. Your king's corner is your thing. I think you should have it because this is a hot
Yeah.
topic that, it is what it is. Shouts out to Tony. Hello, Stefan. Tony, I love Tony. So listen, guys, we're going to move forward because our guest was prompt and we love a prompt guest and we want to give him all the time that we
And
can.
he's polished and refined.
Yes, we love him. He judged us for Renaissance. Do you remember that?
I do. And not a
Okay.
pair of earrings.
So, and shouts out to Flame, even though Flame did not book either of us on her show that Sunday after King and Queen. That's a whole nother topic. So
Scandalous.
Andre is someone when we curated this show, and we are 2 years this month, guys. Can y'all believe it? 2 years this month we have been having
Yes.
this show. So thank you all for the support for these 2 years, and it won't be another
Wow.
2 years. It won't even be another year.
That's
We are
legacy.
we are slowly but surely wrapping this up, but um, we we wanted to definitely talk to our icons and legends, but I think it's important to hear the stories of the people behind the icons and legends, because the icons and legends didn't become the icons and legends on their own. We all had a team, like Wendell said earlier about his team for next week. And but I learned some things about our guest tonight that I was like, he did male lead. I didn't know any of that.
Oh, really?
The icons that he is behind quietly, the support he gives. So we'll get into all of that. So I definitely want to bring him on, guys. We'll talk to him for a bit. Make sure that you're sending your questions in if you have any, and supporting, sharing this live, because this story or this conversation is very, very, very important to get out. So let's bring on Mr. Andre Brown. Hi. We hope we didn't have you waiting long. You know, we can both be a little
No,
long-winded, more so Wendell, but we can both be a little
She
no, I
said
love
more
the
so me.
energy. I love the energy between y'all. And I love sitting and watching the children, live and talk.
long-winded.
Because if we can't talk and kiki amongst ourselves, where can we talk and kiki, right?
Come on. So I want to say, first of all, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. For immediately accepting the invitation, and sending your picture in so promptly. I think it's important, like I said before you came on, I don't know if you heard me, that we hear stories of our greats, such as yourself, that sit on our panels, that have pushed our girls and guys, have been behind so many people, but also that did a little dibbling dabbling himself that I was unaware of.
I'm
So I
curious
can't
about
wait to
that.
hear about that. But thank you for coming on and talking to us about this thing we call Dragon, the trajectory of where it's going and where it has been, because we know that your stories are so important to hear from.
Well, great. Well, thank you guys for having me. Thank you all for creating this platform, because I do believe that with today's climate, we have to have these conversations and talking about the things that go on behind the scene and how important it is. Because some people that don't get into, say, drag and pageants, don't understand that there's a lot of learning that goes on about ourselves. And this is our outlet. This is what we've created. And this is where we spend our time, our money, and it's built solid friendships and that's a lot of stuff. And I just think that we need to sit and talk about it because be honest with you, I don't think we love on it as much as we should,
Mhm.
especially like right, especially right now, because we stand on the shoulders of tens of 10,000s, and sometimes I think we, especially with social media and life being so busy, that we often forget about that how far we've come, how things have changed, and how these things started somewhere with 1 year and now back universe is almost 40 years, and just it's just a lot of things that we just need to kind of sit and try to give some love to and support each other
Yes.
a little bit better than what we have been doing.
Um, the first question I want to ask you is this. So many people, when they hear your name, revere you so much. It's like, oh, Andre. Well, I gotta ask Andre, or Andre didn't say, or Andre said, or I think I need to talk to Andre. How does that make you feel that so many people in this community, young and old, um, guys and girls, have such a respect and revere for and from you? How does that make you feel?
I don't think I really thought about it till recently since you invited me to go to the show. Because my circle, I feel that my circle is somewhat small or has been somewhat small, and so I've just kind of really, I think once this kind of came up, that I really kind of realized that because girl, I don't think nobody know who I am hardly. Uh, I don't. I really
They
don't.
do.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so. And now I'm kind of learning that. But I've been very fortunate and very blessed that my intentions are really pure when it comes to this craft. It has been the one thing that has been synonymous with my entire adulthood. Um, and so, but it makes me feel good. I mean, I can't complain about that. Everybody wants to be seen and heard, and but my intentions are really pure. And
Okay.
so, I just feel like that. You kind of to hear that people receive that because I am the person that will, if I'm gonna love on you, okay, the love is sincere, and if I'm saying that if I'm suggesting something, if I'm working with you, it's because I want to see you capture your dream. I want to see you be better. I want the best for all of my friends,
Mhm, gotcha.
whatever that really is. And I'm on the road to try to help them with that because I've been fortunate enough, the people that come into my life to kind of help me, navigate this very difficult life of being Black and gay in America.
Right.
Um, and especially, and I grew up in a very religious household. And so that was a whole nother element that you tried to navigate as a young adult when you didn't have social media, you didn't have Google, you didn't have anything. You got to figure this shit out. And so I was fortunate to have nuggets. I had a praying grandmama. I had a very tolerant mother. And like I said, God placed some very beautiful people in my life to kind of help me to navigate through all those different things and a lot of counseling.
Yeah. So you said you didn't realize people knew you. So talk to us about that. Tell us where you're from. What was life for
Hmm.
you at growing up? I know you just mentioned that you came from a religious home. So definitely we can
Hmm.
open about that. But talk to us about your life, where you're from, and what you did as a child before you even became into this world of drag.
Well, I was, like I said, my mom, I was raised by a single parent. My mom, hardworking. One of those typical, I was born in 65. So, that was interesting to be a young Black boy. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, but my mom moved back to Florida when I was about 6. And so I had been in Jacksonville for that whole entire time. And I was always kind of, my mom and my grandmother were ladies, like real ladies. And even though it was just me and my mom for a large amount of that time before my grandmama came to live with us, like my mom was a lady. She loved beautiful clothes. She loved beautiful shoes. She worked a lot, but she loved to get in it. She is a girly girl. So I grew up around a girly girl. Now, I personally I always thought I was a little soft, but I was still a little boy. And so growing up, my grandmama came to live with us. She would take me to church, and we talk about fire brimstone church now. So we talk about, and they were Sabbath keepers. So that was church on Wednesday night. You for Bible study. You Friday night was Sabbath. Sunday was Sabbath church all day, and you went to go visit on Sunday, baby. So it was church, 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 and more church. Only when I got to high school and I was in the band, which probably had a lot of the reason why I was in the band because I wanted to have something to do. Because shit, I'm sick of this shit all the time. But wonderful. Gave me it was a good church though, good solid, church with good biblical teaching that gave me a good foundation that I was able to connect spiritually for myself after I got old enough. So crazy enough though, but when I was in junior high school, I kind of figured out that I was same sex attracted.
Okay.
I won't say gay because hell, I ain't know what I was shit till a long time after that. But
Right.
I did. And then when I got to high school, like I figured out that my best friend and one of his friends were also kind of same gender attracted.
Okay.
And so I went to my first, he had went to the gay club first. I went to the gay club the Christmas holidays of 1981. Scared as hell. I'm asking this bitch, how is you getting in the motherfucker club? We is not, and you only had to be 18 back then. How the fuck you? We 16. I just turned 16. I was spoiled as fuck. Like I said, my mama had a card in, and my mom worked that night. I had dropped her ass off, and baby, I booked it onto the club. He said, listen, you tall and it's cold because it was like Christmas break. So he said, just put a hoodie on and they ain't gonna card you. You tall, it's gonna be cold. People gonna be coming this cold. So I did. And so I went to the club. So now I was a little bougie in high school.
Okay.
A little bit. Well, more than a little bit, shit. But I was.
Okay.
And so, and this is different times then, right? It's 1980s. Cable had just came out. I think MTV had just came out in 1981. So that was your access to, videos and stuff like that. So I goes in the club. It's since I'm only 16, it was like a group of what they call them sissies back then, but really feminine guys. Knew them from school, kind of, sort of, even though I had graduated already. But, they kind of had a reputation of being the sissies. So I walked in the bar there over to the right. So I passed right by them because I'm like, oh shit, I'm in here. But so happened that a show was going on. And I will never forget it. It was came to be one of our Jacksonville icons, TT Therese. And Donna Ross had just dropped like a mirror, mirror on the wall. So MTV's out. I had seen that, I'm, kind of gayish, like that kind of stuff, music stuff. Miss Thing bends the corner when the music come on, looking. That's all we had was videos back then, videos and Soul Train. That's how you saw people, baby. Miss Thing bent the corner, mirror, 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 mirror on the wall, in the wig that Ross just say had on in the video, with the lipstick and the silver dress. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And that is what captivated me, and that's what kind of brought me to that. It was a crazy cast. What was that white? It was a white chick. She was really young. Sheena Kelly, I think was her name. And I remember that so vividly. Like, I'm 60 years old, and I still remember the first time I went to this bar. It was called the Back Door, and that was the last time I went because the next weekend somebody threw a goddamn smoke bomb in the bar, and it was all on the news. And so, of course, with my scary ass, I never was like, I was not going back, in there or to anything like that. Because you talk about some holy water. If my mama had seen me on the news at a pump bar, baby, when I came through the door, it would have been holy oil and holy water. And I was definitely too scary for that. But and that kind of like where it kind of started. So going to bars to me was not really about meeting boys or men. I was too scary at that time to be doing none of that. But it was about drag, and it captivated me. And when I went off to college, my roommate started doing drag. And so I was her backup dancer. This is in Tallahassee because I graduated really early. Went straight off to college in the summer. And so that was where it kind of started. I went to the bar to be her backup dancer because, we ain't have all these 9 million newcomer pageants like they have now back then. If you was new, you did the talent show. That's what you did. And you kept doing the talent show until maybe something came open on the showcast, or, they had a special guest spot. But anyway, wonderful experience. I had a lovely childhood. I had a lovely, those teenage years was fun. Those early years in college were really, really fun. And that's what that's what I did. My roommates were into drag. And so that was the fun, was going to see pageants, going to that. And I was really smart. But, once I got out that religious household and was out on my own, I was more into sissyism than I was into the books really that first time.
Mm-hmm.
But, no complaints though, because it made me street smart because I was very green, being raised in the church, real green.
Right.
Like, green. And when you go off to school and you're in these places with people that were from Chicago, because I went to FAM, from Chicago and Detroit and Miami, they kind of moving a lot faster than what I'm used to. And so that's what kind of really just always kind of stuck. And it started really early.
Okay.
And so that's just a little bit of my childhood. I didn't know my daddy until I was 30 years old. And so I was just kind of really out there trying to navigate some things and navigate life and navigate these feelings. And, because I love God and I always had. So I was trying to navigate these feelings along with, loving God, and, society is saying, you're supposed to be with a girl, and, you just try to figure it out. And times were different, very closeted experience though.
Being a PK myself and then you being raised in a religious home, I know that how it is to battle with what we are raised and taught in the church and then actually who we are. So how was that conversation, or how did that happen with your mom about you being same-sex attracted, not gay, but same-sex?
Okay, so first of all, the people in the church knew because there was a sister there that went to church with us that they had convinced to marry this girl. That's what they do. They tell you, God, marry a girl early. That's what they tell you to do, and that's to design to supposed to help you in some sense of the word, I guess you could say. But my mom came to pick me up from college, this may have been the end of my freshman year. And so I was spoiled. I had my own apartment. I didn't stay in the dorms. And so one of my friends liked me. I didn't know that. So he left me this note on the mirror in my bathroom. My mom comes in because she's there to get me. to help me move my stuff at the end of the year. And she reads the fucking note before I read the note. Ooh, baby. That was a special summer after that.
Yeah.
So, yes, because number one, I ain't even know. Number one.
Mhm.
Number two, she just didn't know what to do with that. Bless her heart. She didn't know what to do with that confirmation. So that was a rough summer that summer.
Mhm.
But after that, we went through moments. I kind of separated myself of sort because of that, and just having to deal with that. But I will make note that my mom went to her pastor. Of course, I had to go meet with the pastor, and so one great thing was that was she handled me with such love and such care in that meeting. And I do believe that part of that is what kept me so spiritually grounded because of the talk that she had with me and how she handled me from that point on. It was all about, that's just the Lord, this, blah, 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 blah. The sin is in the act. Because all my friends was like probably gay. All of them, most of them. Like my close friends.
Right.
They were gay. So, and so it wasn't about not being around my friends. It wasn't anything about that. We were just really talking about the spirituality piece of it and stuff like that. So, that's how
Whatever
my mom
happened to
found it.
that friend that wrote the note?
Oh, Miss Charles. I don't know. I lost touch with him.
Okay.
But I knew him for a really, 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 really long time after that.
Okay.
I just recently I lost touch with him maybe over the last 20 years, less than that, because he came to my house one time. I had a little gathering for a nonprofit organization that I love, giving a quick little plug to Hero for Children. And so, I have just haven't really ran into him to them. Funny thing about that though is that being very transparent, I was again blessed enough to be one to move past because none of us finished school in the beginning. And I was fortunate enough to be able to move past that and become regrounded. And so, sometimes with people that you've known for a very long time, as you move upward, sometimes they just don't have the capacity to be happy for you and or to move with you. And that's okay, right? That's not on me. I continue to try to be the very same person that I've always been. But so I can't help you with your shit when I'm trying to get through my own shit and figure
Right.
out why you because there ain't no reason for you got no problem with me.
Right.
I ain't done nothing to you, but that's the way it is because people feel like you know their shortcomings and you were there and we started and why you are not me. I don't know. I ain't never really kind of delve into that. I don't know why he kind of disappeared because I thought we had been separated and we got reconnected. He came over and then he kind of disappeared. But so
You
uh,
you were in college right at the height of the AIDS epidemic coming and everything. How was that, or were you still so green to everything that you didn't it didn't phase you?
well, I came out before that, before the AIDS epidemic, actually, and because of where we lived, like right, I had been on trips with friends from college to New York, D.C., Philadelphia. Um, but you kind of heard about, it started out as a gay cancer. That's what they kind of called it. They didn't really have, only they called it AIDS yet. But and you kind of hear about it. Like when I was in college. Now, only when I moved back to Jacksonville, I moved back to Jacksonville. I went off to school at 83. I came back around 87 is when I moved back to Jacksonville. And that is when friends of mine started to become sick. And then, of course, you start attending funerals of people that you know. They were
Mhm.
all older than me, though. And fortunate for my reign of where I was, we were doing more punking than we was doing anything. We were having more fun being sissies than we were really involved with men.
Okay.
And I think that being in that little, little cut there, kind of helped us in a certain sense. But I have lost an enormous amount of friends to that. And you navigated the best that you know. How did we get the prop that was a big education thing? No, the bathhouses was popping.
Mhm.
The clubs were popping. We were on a hiatus because you thinking you enjoying yourself and you ain't got to worry about getting nobody pregnant. So it's on and popping, right?
Right.
That's just what you think. But like I said, we were at somewhat of a disadvantage because of where we were located, and we weren't in these big metropolitan cities where you had this large of influx of deaths. Did we have them? Of course you did.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, so and then fortunate enough for modern medicine, you had to try to hang around until I think protease inhibitors came out in about 95, 96, and then that's when pretty much if you were fortunate to live past that, then you were fortunate enough to get the medicine that was able to save our lives. And we found out how to deliver babies with HIV mothers, and just a number of things that kind of happen over the years because you have to outlive you know the modern medicine, just like it was with COVID.
Yeah.
So many people died until we found a way able to get a vaccine, and that was short because they hated us.
Mhm.
And no one cared at first.
Right.
No one cared. Reagan didn't care. If it wasn't for his wife, baby, we wouldn't have had no money, and we wouldn't have been no research, and God knows when protease inhibitors would have came out, because it only when it became to affect the big names, the heterosexuals, the women, that's when it thing. But as long as those numbers were same gender loving men,
They
they
didn't
ain't
care.
really care. No,
Mhm.
not really.
Um, one last question about your childhood. You mentioned earlier that you did not meet your father until you were 30. Do you feel like there was anything that you missed because of that? Any effects on you that you look back and say, I wish he might have been there, or this probably would have happened differently if he was around?
Yes and no.
Mhm.
I'm not one to, I feel that life is like a puzzle, right? And you have decisions that you make to shape that puzzle.
Yes.
Um, and so I'm so happy now. I'm at an amazing point in my life, and I've traveled through decades of all of these things that happen. And do I feel like life would have been a lot different if I had knew my father? And so I'll tell you, why I say that too is because, like, my dad did not have any idea that he had a son until I was 30 years
Oh,
old. So
okay.
So the man's name on my birth certificate is not my biological father, was not my biological father.
Okay.
My mother and my dad and my biological father were good friends.
Okay.
And so, of course, they had a altercation or interaction.
Yes.
Okay. And that was in their senior year of high school. And so I was conceived in February. I was born in November. When my mom got ready to graduate from high school, he asked my mother, was that his baby? She told him no. And so he went off to school to go to fam and become this. He's this great man. But anyway, so life went on, right? My
Right.
mom, they ship, back then they used to ship you off to South
Yeah.
Carolina or
Yeah.
wherever. So they shipped my mom to Cleveland, and she had me, and that's where we were until I came back. So for years and years and years, a part of some of the trauma that I had is that I had so much anger because the man who I thought was my father for a very long time had gone on to marry and have kids and be a part of there. And he never really reached out. Now, later, after I came to know that my mom finally said, and I was probably, girl, I don't know what I was doing. I was begging her for the keys to the car. And she
Right.
said, she pulled out her yearbook and she said, this your real daddy right here. And
Mhm.
so I was like, really, girl? Okay, good. Give me them keys. I'll be back later. Now, mind you, this is a secret that my mother had carried with her till, like, my grandmother didn't even know the story, didn't even
Okay.
know that this man was my biological father and the man that she had. But anyway, so I was starting to have some issues. When I say issues, just I was trying to find my footing,
Yeah.
gotten into a little trouble, and I felt that my mom felt that it was important for me to really know who my father was. So she wrote my father a letter and sent him all these pictures of me. And and he wanted to meet me. And so we met, and then I looked just like him. We are twins. It's funny because I loved cowboy boots back then. So the first time I meet him, he lived in Houston, lives in Houston rather. He came to Jacksonville to a family reunion, and I went there to meet him and his other kids, which are my brothers and sisters. And we show up to church on Sunday because you can't have a family reunion in the black church. I mean, the black people, and you don't go to church on Sunday.
Right.
So we both show up to church with blue suits on and cowboy boots.
Hmm.
Just yeah. I mean, I am really his twin. I cuss really, really badly. I don't know if anybody told you that when you were doing your research, but I do. But I cuss I cuss a lot. Anyway, but my dad is me. But I tell you, this is that motherfucker. Baby, listen, you would have thought that I was raised with him in the house, but I wasn't. But he's a very strong man. Very, very strong man. He is a Kappa. He was president of the uh, um, black men at FAMU. He's a guy. Do I think that would have gone real well? Me being not necessarily gay, because that's not a problem for him. But I don't know whether it would have been a problem for him if I was a teenager. Like I just don't know how that would have gone and what that would have done to our relationship. See, now meeting him as an adult, I didn't need to be raised. I just need to know who I was. And I needed to meet my brothers and sisters and all of that kind of stuff. So I can say that is because unfortunately I just think my dad has a lot of kids. It's 9 of us. So I know how unfortunately those relationships could go sometimes when kids get grown and you're dealing with a really strong-minded father. And I don't know whether I would have how that would affected our relationship. Don't know how that would have been. But it turned out great. It's an amazing story. I love my dad. My dad loves me. I go and visit him. He comes here, and I love my brothers and sisters. And it was amazing. Now, what I've always wanted to know and been curious about is that question. Would it what if he wasn't this great man that he is? Would I have felt? Because that is when the walls came tumbling down for me as a man, as a black man, once I met him. Because once I met him, he was so upset with my mama. He was so upset because I'm his oldest child. I'm his firstborn son. And he felt very deprived because he prided himself on being instrumental in all of his kids' lives. He's a very successful man, and he has always been that, and he has always been financially and emotionally available for his children. And that was part of his thing for him. And he felt deprived of that. And so, I just don't know. I've always been curious about, what that would have been like if he had been a bum. Would I have still felt this? But all my brothers were college educated, definitely pushed me to go back to college to get my degree. Because after I met him, to be honest, I felt like, oh shit, I'm from good stock, bitch. The fuck?
Let me get myself together.
Girl, what is going on? I need to get my life together. Shit. And I'm the oldest. So I was so positively influenced, by meeting him. And it told me so much about myself. Because my mom, before my mama got saved, she used to curse, but nothing like my dad. I am my daddy's damn child, honey.
Listen, okay.
We say what we feel. We keep the motherfucking moving. And it is what it is. So I know who I am now. I know where a lot of the stuff come from because I've always loved numbers and math. Like my dad was a CPA. He was an accounting major, got his CPA, then he went to law school, and then he went and got his PhD. Okay. And so, that's, although I never knew where the numbers came. Why? Why? My mama don't give a fuck about no math. Now I do. Yeah. And it was at the right time for me, to be quite honest. That 30 age, I still had time to do so much living and appreciate life and really get to know my siblings and, really get to experience some time with them and learn what my roots were. So it all happened in God's own time.
Right. Gotcha. So before I move to the next section, you got anything, King, before I go to the next section?
I'm just curious to know, like, when you were being raised by your mom, like,
Mhm,
it's obvious that she had a big influence on you, her and your grandmother. But
mhm,
how much of the influence do you think would have changed if your dad would have been a part? Because I was raised by my mother, also by just my mother, and I always
mhm.
wonder how much of me would be different.
I don't know. My dad was so upset, accepting about who his child was when he met me. I don't know whether that was something that happened within the 30 years. Was he like that? Was he like that all the time? Was he that way? It's hard for me to really able to know. But I know this is gonna sound real crazy. I'm not sure I would have been gay if my dad had been president in my life. I'm not
Mhm.
sure. And I don't know. And it's a question that I ask myself all the time because I know how it started. Um, and I tell this story to a lot of people that know me or close to me. Or I do a lot of mentoring to young black boys. I was fondled by one of my mom's children. It started when I was 9 and he was 16, and it wasn't anything. It was sexual, but it wasn't. He groomed me. He groomed
Mhm.
me from the time I was 9. And I didn't see him every day, maybe every couple of months. He knew my mom worked at night. It was very, pedophiles like that
Yeah.
are no. Now do I know was it something about me that made me a target? Don't know. But I do know that the first time that I ever ejaculated, it was with him. And I believe that ruined who I could have been when that happened. Because it was pleasurable.
Mhm.
It was not, you know, nothing that I won't say willing participant because I'm fucking 9 when you
You
start
was
this
a
shit and you
child.
16
Yeah.
and I'm a child. But I do know after going to nursing school and understanding how children and kids, become to um get older and have feelings, and that I do know that there is a switch that happens
Mhm.
when it comes to attraction, and believe it or not, I have always been attracted to that same type of guy that he was, body type, height,
Mm.
all of those things.
So he truly groomed you then. Like it was a
Yeah,
true
truly,
grooming.
it was a true grooming, and so. eh,
So
I just
with
at that I wonder.
so with it being the era that you all were in when you were born, do you have any hostility to your mom, or do you understand?
No, because I know people ask me that a lot when I tell the story too. Are you mad with your mom? No, I wasn't. I guess part of it was because I saw her own pain. I was
Hmm.
able to, because I was old enough to see the pain that she
Yeah.
had to release this, and it was a breath of fresh air for her because this was a secret that she had carried for 30 years herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and to subject herself, because like I said, my dad was hot, baby. He was hot as fish grease. And so that in itself, watching her, think about, would things have been different? Could
Yeah.
things have been different? And just to see her question all of those choices. But like I said, I know she put herself in that harm's way and subjected herself to that because she wanted to see her child live, and she thought that that was something that I needed, and it was one of
Yeah.
the best gifts. One of the best gifts she could have ever given me. And my mom has been an amazing mother. She has supported me in all the foolish bullshit, baby, all the bullshit. She with the bullshit, baby, about her baby. And my and my mother, it was funny because my mother is an only child. So her mama's only child. So I was the only grandchild too.
Oh
So
wow.
baby, baby, listen, when I tell you rotten to the fucking core. Plenty of shit I had to overcome because I ain't know no better, baby.
Right.
I ain't have nobody to share. I didn't know how to share. When I was growing up, I didn't know how to share. Share, bitch, share. This is my shit. I didn't let no you. When I left the house and came back, my shit was where I left it. I always had my own room, everything.
Okay.
So
So
yeah.
we'll take some time out now just to pin that and pin drag and talk to you about your likes and your dislikes. A couple of questions just to get to know you on a more personal level.
Oh,
Um,
girl.
what is the one thing that you would call your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, a, a liar, a free liar.
Would they be paying for it?
Girl, some people just want to, some people just got to make up shit for some reason. And baby, you ain't got to make up the bullshit for me, baby. I'm gonna meet you where you at. You
Okay.
ain't gotta. I'm just a regular old person. Tell me who you are, baby. You ain't got to flash for me. You don't have to do any of that, baby. I'm not. I'm really. I, it just does something to me,
Yeah.
And a thief. I will say and a thief because I hate a bitch who steal. Because I give you my last oftentimes,
Right.
baby. Don't
Uh,
don't don't steal from me.
your favorite holiday that is not your birthday to celebrate?
Christmas.
Okay. Is your tree
I
up?
love this. Not yet, girl. My husband gonna kill me though, but it's gonna go up. I got to. Oh, I
Okay.
have to move. Shit.
Okay. Christmas. What about Christmas just makes it your favorite? Anything in particular?
um, Honestly, that it's the birth of Christ in that store from church was always a very beautiful time, and I just think that it's an amazing story. Um, and then the spirit of giving.
Okay.
I
Okay.
do. I love giving presents. Of course, I love bullshit, all the gay shit, the decorating and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But I definitely really love giving. Actually, I'm a very good gift wrapper too. Like I love wrapping gifts.
Okay. If
Yeah.
you were to come back on Earth and live as an animal, which animal would you pick?
Ooh, shit. A cougar.
That can go in so many directions. That can go in so many directions. Why a cougar, Andre?
Girl, cougars are fast, resilient, and shit. I'm a cougar.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I got you. I got you. All right. Um, they are discontinuing all the cereal in the stores, but you can save one brand. Which would it be?
Bitch, no, fuck turtles. I don't give. I don't really eat
You
cereal.
didn't eat cereal growing up.
Girl, cause I had to. Was no choice. I'm really lactose intolerant. Not my
Oh,
thing.
okay. 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 All right.
Never really has been. But I probably say Frosted Flakes. That would be the only one I could think of.
Okay. All right. If you could live or relive in any decade, which would it be and why?
The '70s.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Most of our
Yeah.
guests say the 70s when we do ask that
Girl, I was
question.
here. I'm here for it, bitch. I'm here for it. It was okay, but the children wearing tight pants again. But back then, baby, the men wore tight pants with bell bottoms, afros. Baby, we thought. Let me tell you something. That Black Pride period there when I was young in the '70s was such an amazing time for me.
Yeah, for you. Okay.
I got into all of that, all the Rosses, Michael Jackson. Baby, listen,
Okay.
them was
There was the times.
that was the
Um,
times, baby.
favorite actress.
Damn. One favorite actress.
No, you can name you're Andre, so you can name more than one. We'll let you
Okay,
go.
okay, 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 okay. And why I'm bad with recall the names of old. The lady that played in what Devil Wears Prada.
Meryl Streep.
Uh Meryl Streep, that's my bitch. Uh and Angela Bassett.
Okay. All right. Favorite movie of all time.
Oh girl, I got a lot of them.
Okay. Give me some.
One is really ghetto, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I love Kimberly Elise in that movie. I don't know why. I just kind of love that movie. Um, then The Devil's Wears Prada, and probably what was the thing with Bette Midler and them. I'll put a spell on you, and now you're mine.
I don't
I can't
know.
remember. What's the name of
I
that
mean, is
movie?
it?
I love children. What's the name of
Oh,
that?
oh, with
Is it?
the three girl with the three witches.
Yeah, with the three
Okay,
witches.
I don't
Yes.
know the name of, but I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
That's
Okay,
my shit, girl.
okay. Growing up, who was your favorite artist to listen to on the radio or on the tracks or what y'all had?
Natalie Cole.
Okay, okay,
My mama loved Natalie Cole. Ain't like I had too much choice, girl. But
right.
we had 45s and 78s back then, you know.
Okay, the movie is called Hocus Pocus. That's the
That's what
name
it
of it.
is. Thank you. Somebody said it.
Yes, you were
Yes.
you were you said you were raised in the church a lot and had to go to church a lot. So if you could think of one Bible character that you most identify with, who would he or she be?
Hmm. Peter?
Okay, why Peter? I want to hear this.
Uh, um, I, I I just could have seen me being a Peter.
Mhm.
Um, and like I said, I love God. The
Mhm.
horrible thing about being same gender loving, well, I call myself gay now because I know what I am now.
Mhm.
Um, is that everybody wants to tell, everybody has so much to say about those two things existing in the same path.
Right.
A lot of people, and you find yourself having to try to defend that, right? When in actuality, spirituality is an individualistic journey.
Yes.
Okay. I don't get to tell you what God says all right, what's good for you. You don't get to tell me neither. My relationship is with him. You think he don't know?
Right.
That's what I get so
He knew.
confused with the shit. You think he don't know?
Yes. He knew.
Especially when you have formulated a relationship with him.
Mhm.
And that's something that I have prided myself on, that I have done throughout the years, is maintain my relationship with Christ. Because I've had
Okay.
to go to him and talk to him about a lot of shit,
Mhm.
and he ain't never steered me wrong.
Right.
I'm 60 years old, still moving a little slower than I used to, but I'm still around here moving.
Moving.
Yep.
What's the one thing that makes you cry?
Oh Lord, a lot. Believe it or not, I can be a crit. I have a very hard exterior, but I can let my feelings out. I'm not scared to wear my feelings on my sleeve.
Mhm.
Um, Death,
Death.
unfortunately, death. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have again, why I have a special place in my heart for abused children,
Mhm. Yeah.
because no kid deserves, okay, to be broken.
Hmm.
And some of the actions that adults do to children, you're breaking these kids,
Right.
and I have a problem with it. So that's why I mentor and try to be that middleman and between, what it is that you want, and always, believing in a higher power, and really waking up and trying to be great every day. Forgive yourself for the shit that you do, because you ain't gonna do everything right, because you're gonna learn by doing everything right.
If
But
you could pick living or dead, a celebrity to have lunch with, who would she or he be?
celebrity, like
Hmm.
an actress, actor, singer.
Actress, singer, athlete, model, anybody that's famous. Living or
Oh,
dead.
living or dead. Um, Dead, I would probably say Ray Charles. Alive, it would be Barack Obama.
Okay. Okay.
And I know he
Um,
made it, to me, he a celebrity, but I don't know.
yeah, yeah, that's perfectly fine. What's your
Mhm.
favorite season?
Mhm. I like them all for different reasons, really, but I'm probably gonna say the fall.
Okay. Yeah, I like fall too.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
60 years old, so you're still learning some things and you're still able to grow. So, what would be three things that you know you can work on about yourself?
Whew. Oh, probably my cutoff game because I'll cut a bitch off in 2 seconds, girl.
Oh,
And sometimes it's petty. But that's definitely one thing that I can work on. Number two, I work too much. I really do. I'm a hustler by nature. I watch my mama work, 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 work. I don't know how to do nothing else,
right.
to be honest. Um, but I'm learning. I've been working on that. Me and my husband take great vacations. They've been getting better as we get older. So I'm getting better on that. The third thing is I cuss too much, but bitch, it's too late.
Some
Bitch, it's
things
too
just end.
late. Bitch, that's too mother. First of all, and I feel like this, to exist in the world today, you got to understand how to cuss a bitch out because the devil is busy, and the only thing he motherfucking understand is that you motherfucking attack his face, say
Yeah.
face on, and let him don't play with me, boo. Go on about your business.
Okay. All right.
So,
Um, a little birdie told me that you know how to cook. So, what's your favorite thing to cook?
oh shit, I got a lot.
Okay.
Dessert is pound cake and sweet potato pie.
Mhm.
Side would be collard greens and field peas and snaps.
Mm.
Meat would be a good old fried chicken wing.
Mhm. I want some field peas so bad. So you're
Well,
gonna have
girl,
to.
I had some for Thanksgiving. You have to come through. You got to come
Yes, I'm
through.
gonna have to come. I love me some field peas. What have you realized your purpose is in life?
Hmm. I feel like my purpose is an educator.
Okay.
I do that. And service and customer service.
Okay.
I kind of combine those in my career, and it kind of spills over to this mentoring, kind of spills over to this pageant coaching, and so I get great value out of that,
Mhm.
helping people navigate the health system because it is difficult. Because you'll be surprised the number of people that just really are clueless about how that system, how the American health system works.
Mhm.
Um, and health disparities, and they're called disparities for a reason because the children don't know no better. We didn't do a real good job about that. As we matriculated to this cyber world or cyber information now, we didn't put our thumbs on that like we probably should have. But who knew that this is where the iPhone was going to take us, right? Who knew? No one knew.
Uh, Favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. Okay, gotcha. Um, Talk to us about, and I believe, have you graduated? Or are you still in fashion school?
No, I graduated in December last year.
Okay, so talk to us about what made you transition into going to fashion school. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, well, it goes back really far. In high school, we used to do home ec, and you used to choose what you do. You was gonna cook, you was gonna
Yes,
sew.
you was gonna do.
Yes, you was gonna do something. That's what you was a requirement. You ain't had no
Yes,
choice. There was no elective, bitch. You was taking home ec.
yes.
That's what it was back then. And so my grandmother's spiritual name was Dorcas, which was a seamstress in the Bible. And so I was around that. My mother loved little kids, and she always like they did the choir, made the choir robes, made all the little things for different stuff, church anniversary and stuff. The little kids choir, she was very big and all of that. So I was always around that stuff. And so, but in high school, when I took home ec, I made a man's suit with a crop jacket, pretty similar to the suit that Rico does with the little crop jacket. But that's what I did. And my teacher, I remember her saying to me, this is really good because, most guys and that, we just want to get in that class and get out of here, right?
Right.
And it was lined. It was everything. It came out really good. And she said, "Have you ever thought about, taking this up?" And I was like, "Girl, can I get my grade and go?" But I was so, I wasn't even in that space really. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I was so tunnel vision on trying to get out of high school and get out to college so I
Right.
could be by my mama house and I ain't got to go to church 3 or 4 times a week.
Right.
And so I wasn't even listening. And so it always stayed with me. Of course, that carried over to this drag thing and styling prom girls for years. I did that for a while.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to know the proper way to do these things.
Right.
So it was craft because I'm getting ready to retire within the next 5, 10 years or so. And so I wanted to be able to do something and I wanted to start now
Mhm.
and learning that craft. So I wanted to go ahead and go to school. And I found a school and that I could afford, I guess you'd call it affording it. But and even though I have amazing mentors, right, like Julian and JD and people like that, and but I do better. I have found out that I do better on structured instruction.
Mhm.
I go to class, you tell me this is what I got to do. You're there to show me how to do it, blah, 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 blah. And I wanted to understand the rules of the fashion industry. Because as when I was growing up, I saw myself as being Manolo Blahnik, baby. That's
Mhm.
what I thought I was. And that's what I wanted to be, a women's shoe designer. Because like I said, my mother was a shoe fanatic.
The girly
And
girl.
she loved, oh yeah, she loved heels, baby. Slingbacks, pumps, you name it. High heel sandals, you named it. She loved it. And
Mhm.
so I saw her doing that. And so this was for me. The nursing was for the money and for
Right.
the career choice. That was my God. God gave me that in the closet one night. I was at a crossroad and I just laid out my heart to him about what the hell am I supposed to be doing? And
Right.
that's what he gave me was nursing and I got up from there and that's what it was. But this one was for me, for my future. And honestly, I do love what I do now with pageantry and some judging and of course the mentoring and coaching part. And I just feel like if you're going to invest in something, that you go somewhere and get the instruction that you need so that you can really do it and do it well and do it with a educated eye. And so I wanted to I just really wanted to do that for me and
Okay.
for the things because I love all things clothes, all things fashion, sewing, accessories, you name it.
Okay.
And I love drag, so you know that.
Well, congratulations on that,
Thank
being
you.
more successful of that. So before we play the game, I want to talk briefly. You went to the club and you saw your first drag show. The lady literally had on what Diana had on. But talk
Hmm.
to us about the time of how, which I just found out about, Dimitri Iman came about.
Well, Demetri came about because shit, bitch, I wanted to be a ruler.
Ah! You want to be okay? So yes, talk to us about that.
I was yes,
Give us some context to all of that.
I wanted to be a motherfucking ruler. First of all, like mind you, I was there for the first Black Universe.
Okay.
And if you're existing as a young adult in this industry, an entertainment industry, you would come to know that we didn't have a place to go for us. You had your bar titles, like your black bar titles, yeah, but nothing big. They had USA, they had Continental, EOY. There wasn't a lot of boy pageants. Definitely wasn't no girl and boy being crowned. I don't think there was ever a pageant before Black Universe where they were crowning a couple and you were reigning as a couple. And mind you, this is where we can go and do all the shit. We can do the motherfucking OJs for Tyler and the children get it. You can't take that. You couldn't take that across the street, across the railroad track on the other railroad track over there. Sure, look at you like you're crazy. Girl, what you doing over here with that? Gospel number, black gospel numbers. Girl, where you going with that? You couldn't take that. You asked some of them old school girls, they couldn't take that to USA. The trail look at you like you a motherfucking fool. You better get out of here. And so and I had so much influence. I came here to Atlanta the very first time in 84, 85, which was an amazing time in Atlanta. They had this club called Illusions. And baby, all the boys went to Illusions on a Monday night. It was a drag show, but all the boys came there on Monday. And so one night I went across the street to Foster's because this is where all the clubs were on Peachtree Street, all of them. Levitas, Foster's,
Yeah,
you know,
Paula told us about
oh,
that in her interview that she
yes, okay. But baby, listen, Bulldogs used to be a country western motherfucking dog with peanuts on the ground. And behind it was the in between, which was the back box, which is now the back part of that. So I go to Foster's because in that time there wasn't a lot of boy pageants. And then when the ones that they had, Miss Basha she was Roosevelt, so I didn't look like that. I wasn't pretty and light skinned. I didn't associate with that really. So I remember seeing Joe Jackson one time, and I say, "Oh, okay, now he looked like me. Okay, all right." So then later, years later, Johnny Thomas used to come to Jacksonville when I moved to Jacksonville, like in the mid '80s, and he used to come there entertain. I said, "Oh shit, okay." So because they called us Butch Queens, that's what they called us. Because back then the girls were soft. They ain't wear girl shoes and stuff and purses and shit like they do now, nails, but they were soft boys, and I really didn't fit into that. Me and my, we was true Butch Queens, which I think is the most funniest fucking term ever.
Right.
I don't know why people would get
Offended.
offended by that. It was just so it's always tickled me. But anyway, I saw myself. So once after I went to the first Black Universe, and then that second one, and then I got solidified, who I was in Atlanta a little bit. Still going to pageants, going to the bar. We had lovely bars, you know about that, Loretta's, Tracks, all those clubs there. I was like, okay. And then me and my friend got a prelim to Miss Nationals. And I said, girl, I'm gonna do me a pageant, girl. I said, because I want to be a ruler. And so they said, well, girl, you have to get your feet wet, bitch. You can't just go be you can't just go be a ruler. Because mind you now, this is before prelims with Black Universe. This is when we sat there all night for 26, 28, 32 contestants. And we sat our ass there till 6 o'clock in the goddamn morning. That's what we did. And so it was just so many men that looked like me, the Spankies, all of them, Kelvin St. Clair's, all of them. I began to see myself. So I was stimulated by that. And so I created with this name because I became an imam because I met Tamisha in the club. I think she may have been flirting. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Probably so though. But I met her. She was a bar. I was a big fan. And so when I came up with the name, that's the name that I kind of came up with. Miss Dominique Chappelle helped me come up with that motherfucking name. She was my first queen for my prelim to Miss National. And so she named, that's how we came up with my name, Dimitri Amar. And I did Liberty. Chris had Liberty International. And my first pageant, I got second runner-up by myself, just putting the package together, doing what I do. Now I was pretty back then, pretty and fine back in the day. So, and it's funny too because I remember I was the first person that went to Colin before Colin started sewing for any of the kids because I had a friend that I known through some other friends, Sidney Douglas, and I told Sidney, I said, Sidney, I need a formal wear. He told me, well, I got this guy and you can go to him. And so I went to him. He made my tuxedo. I remember Al asked me, did you buy that? I said, no, this guy made it for me. And then, he started sewing for all the rest of the boys kind of after that. But I did Liberty, and then I wanted to be, before I wanted to be a ruler, I went and did Sweetheart. I did Sweetheart 3 times. I got first, then second, then first. And I enjoyed that. I didn't win. I tell guys that I mentor now all the time. I tell my gay son this. You got to do shows. And that's what they would tell me. Dimitri, you got to get your ass on the show. Baby, I got to work. I can't be in no show with you hoes. I got to work, baby. I can't be in no show with you hoes on no Monday night till 1 o'clock in the goddamn morning. What the fuck y'all think this is?
Right.
And I didn't have a big family. Like I had my small little crew.
Right.
They was, we did the best we could. I learned more in those years though. I learned more in those years. I only have one regret. I went back and did Black Universe after I did it a couple of years. I did it when you was in the pageant with me that year too. In 2000, when Natasha got packed that year. The year
Rashawn?
huh?
That was your
Rashawn?
The year
because he didn't make the 12.
Quentin, Tyra.
Quentin and Tyra's year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I did the pageant because That was the reason I did Black Universe that year was because, Black Universe was very instrumental in me looking at myself because I had to realize that this shit's, it look easy. I tell boys out there, oh yeah, you want to you want to entertain. Oh, you do? Okay. You think that's cute because you cute. You think you like clothes, so you think you just buy you some clothes and you're gonna figure it out, and now you can go and do a pageant. Well, baby, it's a lot more to it than that. Figuring that out. That there are going to be some strengths that you're going to come to the pageant with that you already have that's going to make you a contender. But if you really want to be successful, you got to work on your stage presence. If you already have that, then it's probably something else you need to figure out. You got to figure out this talent, and you only do that by doing it, and you do get fast tracked on it by doing shows. And I was I never wanted to do that. I won't say never wanted to do it. I just couldn't live that life in my current life because I was all I had. I had to work. I had to find a career. I was out here hustling. Okay, I like nice clothes, so that really wasn't that much of a deal. But there's a learning process that happened,
Yeah.
and I learned so much from doing pageants. Like I don't think I could ever be as productive with my male contestants now if I had not done it and been on the stage because I get it. I get it how difficult it is, the stress of it, and figuring out this persona that you want to do and creating it. I'll tell you a funny story. See, I thought I was gonna be the gospel boy because I love God, right? I love God. I love gospel numbers, right? But I was having a lot of fun, but it did not resonate to the people out there. That ain't what they wanted. That ain't what they wanted to see me doing.
Okay.
They wanted to see me showing some skin or shaking my ass. But you got a little bit. I found a place because I won talent preliminary night, and that was important enough for me. Like I went away a winner after the last time I did Black Universe. My only regret is that I didn't carry my ass back to Black America right after that because I never gave Black America my best, and that was my fault. I never gave them my best, and I learned a lot from doing the pageant that year. If I wanted to keep doing it, I probably would have been a real hell raiser and could have been just about anything I want to. But I just met my husband. He ain't really, I ain't even asked him, but we wanted to travel. I wanted to, it was just other things that I wanted to do. And I spent this is in what that was, '08. That was probably '08 window, I think.
When they won, I think it was
Yeah.
like 09,
It was
08,
08 or
09.
09.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I spent like $10,000 getting ready for that pageant.
Oh, shit.
And back then, but I had to start from scratch. I needed that. Like I ain't had nobody dance for me for free. I ain't had that kind of. The girls ain't come running.
You wasn't abusing people, okay?
Well, wasn't even about the abuse of it because I would have liked some help, and I was there a period there of some people that I thought that would have helped me that did not. Yeah, because I had helped plenty of bitches by that time.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Plenty
yeah.
of them. I mean,
And
because
and we're gonna get to that. But it's good to know that. See, these are why these stories are important because I didn't know that at all until you actually
Neither.
posted.
Really?
I did
I
not
don't
know
know
that you were a
either.
male lead at all. I thought you were. I thought you were like a Rick Finn, a guy
I
that was
thought you were
Oh,
just
just a promoter.
intrigued.
Like I thought that you just always
Yeah, I thought
supported.
you was just in the art form, intrigued by it, and you just grew and loved it, and then that's how you became who you were. I did not know that you did the action. You actually did it, which is even better because you were actually in the spaces to talk
yes,
about
yeah,
things and how you can speak on things from your perspective of actually being in those spaces.
Yeah, you have
yeah,
real life experience.
Yeah.
yeah.
So so we'll get to that in the prior in the program. But I do want to play the game with you. So
Oh
how
gosh,
you watched, we do the 10 words, people, place, things, what have you. And you give us the first thing
Lord.
that comes to your mind. I'm not gonna trick you up.
Okay.
I hope you got something good. Let me
Oh
see.
shit.
Number one, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Thomas Johnson. Period. Let's start there.
Ah. Woo! Listen, no one probably knows me in my circle of friends like Thomas Johnson. I
Okay.
met Thomas Johnson the first time I went to Continental when Paris, France got crowned. I met him that weekend.
Okay.
And so at that time, I didn't really have a lot of pageant friends, buddies. Like I said, my friends was butch queens, so they ain't really studying no damn drag queens. But I mean, they know I was into it. They ain't mind, but that was a whole nother like group of people that I kind of would attend pageants with that I was like my running buddies. And so Thomas was my first running buddy that also liked pageants.
Okay.
And so since I was interested in healthcare, and we just kind of hit it off and was always friends. So we traveled to go to pageants, like we would go to the USA and come to Continental. After I met him, I came. Sidney Douglas took me to my first one, and then after that, it was kind of like me and him, and then I met Antoine and stuff like that. So that he knows me. We have seen each other through several phases of our life. Like I said, I met him in '95. So what's that? 30 years?
30
Yeah,
years, yeah.
30,
Okay.
30 years.
Shouts out to Thomas.
Yeah.
Always supportive, always everywhere you're gonna look up balls,
Yes.
pageants, he is there.
Yes, baby. Yes, baby.
um,
Yes, baby. That
yeah, so shouts out to him. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of sitting on the panel at Renaissance?
good, wonderful. I mean, it was great. I was just at one time, but I to be honest with you, that panel, sitting on that panel with them, that was an and judging panel and that makeup because that was my first time judging the pet that had that kind of full makeup about it. I had an amazing time judging. That interview process allowed us to really get to know the contestants prior to the rest part of the pageant done, and that's the part that I love the most. So it was fabulous. I love Rocky. I think that's his name. His name Rocky. Oh,
Hmm.
but we had a good time on that panel,
Okay.
talking to you all, getting to know, you and I think, and I was probably really intrigued from what's the guy name? Looked like Rick Finn,
Scooby.
Scooby.
Scooby. Yes, and like I said, and that's to me, interview is where you get to know the people, even though sometimes they're trying to lie to you, but that you still get an opportunity to see them, and there's a lot to say when you're able to sit in the room of your peers
Hmm.
and answer questions and express yourself,
Oh,
and
so that was your
you
first
know,
time judging Renaissance? Was
yes, that was
that
my first
year?
time judging.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that
who
was
had the better interview out of me and Trinity? No,
Don't
I'm
do
just playing.
that.
girl. I ain't getting in y'all mess.
You can say Trinity. Let me be the
I
accessory.
won the category.
Trinity
That's all
had the
that
better
I won the
interview,
category. That's all
guys.
that matters.
Trinity had the
Right.
better interview. I'm just an accessory.
I-
Go.
Which was
so
amazing
number
for you,
three.
Trinity. 'Cause
What'd you say?
I said
What'd
that
you
was
say?
amazing because I knew who you were, but I did not know you. And I found out who you were in that interview.
That was a heavy interview.
It
It was
Oh,
was.
that was
heavy. It was
heavy.
heavy. It was heavy.
It
I was
was.
You
When I
I was
walked in
taken
and they
aback,
said
but
turn around, I was like, what? I ain't never been in no pageant where they tell you in an interview to turn around.
you built for it though, girl. You built for it, girl. You was built for it, girl. I love
uh,
it.
what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of FAMU?
Oh God, girl, that was my motherfucking boot camp. Woo. That's what I think. Bitch, good evening.
Yes.
Woo! The children got me together up there, baby. I mean, but it needed to happen. Like I said, I'm fresh out the church pews, and yeah, I got that was my first opportunity to really learn about really people because I was so sheltered. The people in my life that my mom and everybody was a gatekeeper to the
Mhm.
people that existed in my life, and that was the first time that I had to be my own gatekeeper and to determine things and different people and characteristics. And, it really taught me a spirit of discernment during that time. I met my first, what I call my man. I had a man most of the time that I was there. After my sophomore year, I met a man and I was with him until I left Tallahassee. And he was amazing. When I met him, he had a girlfriend
Oh,
and he was country. And the crazy part about it is that I wasn't even studying that little boy. Like a little bit of a crazy story is that the first man that wanted to talk to me was a preacher. He was 10 years older than me. Baby, he was crazy to me. Because like I said, I was young and tender, baby. I ain't had no hair on my face, a small waist, fat butt, broad shoulders, always built like a stallion. Baby, listen. And so he brings this little country boy. He introduces him to me. Fine. Hey. The next day he comes to my apartment and I get home from class. My roommate say, "Who the fuck is Kelvin?" I said, "Girl, who?" Said, "Who the fuck is Kelvin? Somebody keep coming by here. You coming by here?" And so he comes back to my house, and he was just that was it. He started coming to my house. He had two straight roommates and a girlfriend. Fuck them. Baby, he wasn't trying to hear it. He wasn't trying to hear it. And he was my man for 6 years. The best one of the until I met my current husband, he was the blueprint though of what I wasn't you weren't gonna be my man unless you was like that. Like a man,
Well,
man.
shout out to FAMU for introducing you to your man.
Yes, girl. And drag.
Yeah. Number 4, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Natasha Braxton?
That's my sister from another motherfucking mister. Right there. That is and it's funny because we met each other so by I won't say accident, but she approached me after she had been to USA and when she went I did her Must Be Love for her. I sat up in the studio with my music man uh, for nights on end until we got that talent right. And so that we really bonded through that process when she went to USA that year. And so uh, and ever since then she's a transparent person, so and which I liked, and I just loved her transparency of who she was and all of that kind of stuff. And so we're a lot alike. We were both raised older children, and so there was just a lot of similarities um, that brought us together and kept us together. And I think I really cared about Natasha the person, and not just because I don't really see the girls for these personas that they create. Baby, that's just a persona. And so she allowed me in that personal space, and so we just really, like I said, we really, 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 really bonded, and that's my sister. Like we talk, and we don't even talk about shows or drag or pageants. We just
But everything
talk
else.
about. Yeah, I push her though, because like I said, she's like my little sister, and I take pride in being a big brother to her.
Okay. Shouts out to Natasha.
Mm.
You're number 5, you're a fashion guy. So what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear today that Prada purchased Versace?
So, don't none of that shit the same no more, baby. Because let me tell you something. You know, you got to go back. If you existed in the '90s and '90s fashion, that and like '80s, '90s fashion, this shit right now with the rhinestone T-shirts and all the other kind of stuff that they kind of doing and stuff. Versace. When Versace died, Versace died.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, he was the creative vision in that. When Tom Ford left Gucci, Gucci died. They were just, and I say that mostly because I was into men's fashion. Because we're talking about when Tom Ford was at Gucci, that motherfucking men's line, Tom Ford. Issa Miyake had a men's line like in 1980. No, probably 95, 96. And baby, ooh. So, this buying up now, the way they buying these fashion houses, because it's about sales and, they're not wearing the stuff. They don't see, it's not made the same. And, you put product across it and sell it for $8,000 and the children want to buy because they want to be a content creator and they want to be able to be seen in it. I ain't never really been a bitch to wear other people's name on my body. That's not really been my thing. I've been about beautiful fabrics, beautiful construction, fashionable, pretty things that last forever. And so, it's just money exchanging hands right now to me. I don't get in.
Get into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather make something now
Okay.
because I just think that
Make your
yeah,
own stuff, your own name.
yeah, all of it has changed now.
Okay.
It really changed a lot.
Number 6, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hang out with my favorite uncle, Mark Robinson?
Oh, yes, baby. That is my fashion guru sister.
Mhm.
And I have, me and Mark really haven't even been hanging out but a couple of years. I always knew who he was, clearly, right? He was very instrumental in the Black American fashion system years and years and years ago. And it was so organic, us becoming close friends. I
Mhm.
just saw him. I was at a pageant. He was selling cakes, and I just kind of said, "Hey, Mark, I hadn't seen you in a long time." I didn't know he had been a prison. Maybe I did. No, I can't. But anyway, and then that was just kind of it. I think I did get his phone number. Though. I think we did exchange phone numbers. But and because he also was telling me, because that's the hustling hoe. That's the most hustling hoe I know.
Yes.
And he was telling me about he would do your jewelry too. I said, well, you got to give me your number. So he gave me his number. Right. And then I saw him again at a friend of ours named Anthony House, and I told him that I was going to fashion school, and he was so intrigued by it. And then we start talking like even more, and then we just started hanging out and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't know anybody that knows as much about fashion history as he does. He's one of the most hardworking people I know, and when Mark loves, he loves extremely hard, and I
Yes,
love
he
uh
does. When he is
yes.
for you,
Yes, bitch. It ain't shit that ain't gonna go down. He with the bullshit, bitch.
he
We gonna
loves him some Andre Brown. Yes,
that's that's my bitch, baby. Listen.
yes. He
But
loves
then
some you.
but I'm a cut up though, and he'll cut up too. So that goes
That's why y'all like each other so much. Cause
that's
y'all be
why.
sitting over there at the house cutting up, eating them turkeys.
Ah! That bitch love my food, bitch. That bitch, he's spoiled. He's a baby, so he
Yeah.
loves that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of the grandmama of the crew. I cook for you. I always got a snack
Mhm. But hold
and
on,
all of that.
who pound cake better?
Oh, mine, of course. Bitch, I'm the oldest. Of course, mine will be better.
Okay, okay. All right. Number 7. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of your hometown of Jacksonville?
Oh my God, Duval once Duval, always Duval, baby.
Yes,
Let me tell
well,
you
always
something.
Duval.
Let me tell you something. People don't understand. Dude, Jacksonville is so motherfucking hometown hood. And if you're from there and learn how to exist in Jacksonville and love her for what she is, now it's changed a lot now. A lot of the food staples that we used to have aren't really around anymore. But baby, let me tell you something. I have had a ball in motherfucking Jacksonville because
Mhm.
it's really kind of simple and kind of laid back ish. It's got a very serious ghetto undertone to it, and that's home. So there's a lot of fond memories in that city.
Number 8. I'm gonna throw this name out. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Tiffany Ariagas?
Oh, baby, whew, that's John. Do you know what that means when I say that's John?
No, explain that.
Okay, she was the first trans girl that I saw on TV. She was on Miami Vice.
Uh huh.
Oh, yeah.
I
So
didn't
when
know
she was
that.
on there, and so she was a prostitute.
Okay.
And they kept calling that bitch John. And she told me my name is not John. They kept calling
Oh,
that
okay.
bitch
Okay.
You know what? I've
John.
seen that episode. I never knew that was her.
Yes, that's her.
Mhm.
And so, that was, we were really young. And she was, first of all, I think I was in the Copa after she won Miss Continental.
Mhm.
And I tell you, Miss Thing used to shake and juke. Like, the people have no idea how Miss Tiffany used to motherfucking shake and motherfucking build and juke. I'm talking about, baby, listen, she was that
They said she
girl.
used to have on heels this high.
Baby, she was that girl. When I tell you, big cheeks, like that Hawaiian looking look with the big face, that's what she had. She had it. She was that bitch. And she had all the money behind her, all the South Florida money behind her, all
Wow.
of it. You
Okay.
saw it. Did you ever see any of the Miss Nationals tapes? Have y'all
I
ever
have
seen that
not,
pageant?
I always would hear about her, Tiffany Rockets, Tiffany Rockets. And I didn't really get into her until a couple of months ago when she did perform at Continental.
Really? Well,
But
that's why the
coming
children
back,
was.
From
Yes.
from that, and now I would of course ask questions. So Raquel Lord gave me a little history about her. Ironically, Mark did earlier today. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, she was the girl back then."
Yes, boo. She was the girl. It wasn't no another. These girls that are on TV now, right?
Mhm.
Like I said, they don't understand how they stand on the shoulders of tens of ten thousands because she was the girl.
Wow.
Miami Vice was the shit series, the original. Now they didn't rebother. I ain't never watched the new one that they have, but baby, it was going down. And for that time period, now
Mhm.
for her to be who she was,
Mhm.
she was just well before her time, and
Okay.
just loved doing what she did. Love pantomime and other bitches songs. Before Mimi, she older than Mimi.
Uh huh. Yeah.
All of them, So I just think life changing just to see her. But then those were a lot of bars. Renee's in Tampa was another big bar where all the girls used to. It was a big show bar, the Copa, big show bar. We used to have an old show bar called OPs in
Mhm.
Jacksonville. But that's what these girls would do. The girls that were serious about, their
Right.
stuff. I'm sure
Okay.
Miss Paula talked about that because she's one of those
Yeah,
girls that was,
she did. She
them.
definitely did.
Yeah, they
Um.
had their titties back way back then.
hmm
Hmm.
Number nine. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of the Black America pageantry system?
Oh my God. I have so much love for the Black American Panther. Not just because I judge, just because I just have a lot of respect in the system, in the symbols, um,
Oh.
and Benny Mosley, how it's run, the effort, the continuous love that he puts into that to keep that legacy alive. And it's not just him by himself. I just call him because I know Benny,
Right.
but but just the dedication that goes with that because people have no idea what it takes. Everybody wants the pageant now, right? But you have zero clue of what it takes of dealing with these personalities, dealing with time constraints, dealing with these venues, payment bills. Everybody wants something, everybody wants something free. You want to go to a nice place, but you don't act like you want to go to a nice place when you get there. And who has to be stuck holding and dealing with that after the fact? The owners do,
Right.
So I just see it as, it's,
Agree.
especially like the Miss when Miss Black America was the child. We could
We
go
have a
all
Miss
the
Black
way.
America 1996 on Flame Monroe. She'll be celebrating 30 years next
Yes,
month. Shouts
I
out
was
to her.
there. Miss
You was
Flame said
there?
she did the. Yeah, I was there. Miss Flame said she did the pass because she had the light bill due.
Oh. Okay. Um, Number 10, the last one. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? And don't get on to me when you
What?
hear Olga Goldstein.
Girl, you wrong. I'm gonna cuss Mark ass out. So listen, let me tell you how it started. So, they always call me the she man, right? Because I'm heavy handed. I can act real ghetto boy, like sometimes, right? Even though in my head I think I'm real soft. So either way, uh, we was over here after my fashion show for school, and they was talking about me, and they was talking about, and so Gino Freeman was here, and so, we have this thing we tell each other about being a woman, and I'm real soft, and I'm softer than you, and that you just mad because I'm soft and you get clocked and I don't. And so, anyway, they would tell me, bitch, what kind of woman you is? I says, my name is Olga from Scandinavia. It's okay for me to have hair on my legs. And so,
Oh, okay.
and Mark said that I'm frugal because I do clip coupons for Kroger. I do
Mhm.
shop at Kroger on Fridays when you get 4 times your discount points, and you get gas 10 cents a gallon off for every 100 points. I do, but I have a household to run, so yes, I do that. All money saved is good money saved. And so he told me I'm a Jewish woman, so he called me Olga
Oh,
Goldstein because he say I'm Jewish.
okay. You didn't think you was gonna hear that one, did you?
Bitch, you got me together on that because he is so stupid. Oh
Okay.
my God.
Does he call you
Hilarious.
Olga? Do they call you Olga in public? Or is that just in house?
Oh, I mean, he'll say it in public. People won't have any. People don't have any idea,
Okay. Okay.
what he's kind of talking about. I mean, it's my nigga. I'm real light when it comes to that kind of stuff like that. Like,
It's
bitch,
just
you can
for
call
fun.
me. Yeah, it's just for fun. You call me girl in public. Oh wait, girl, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not real sensitive like that. I'm very secure in who I am and what I am, and
Right.
so it doesn't bother me. But it's a good kiki.
Yes,
You
that's
know.
good. Okay, well, thank you for playing the game. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes. The art of
Ooh.
drag, female impersonation, and
Mm.
male lead. You are someone that clearly knows this craft, has studied this craft, has been in this craft for a long time. You've seen a lot of things come in and out, people come in and out, changes. Um, my first question when it comes to this art form is, Andre, where has it gone in your eyesight? You are someone that was introduced in the early 80s with just the shows, but you also was there for the first Black Universe. You've competed several times in different systems. You've sit on panels. So we definitely can understand and respect your perspective. So where is it going? Where has it gone from your lens?
Oh, well, I don't know where we're gonna end up, girl, where we gonna land.
Mhm.
But, we definitely didn't nurture our systems. Let me talk about our systems, right? The ones that I think that we should be the most that we should love on the very most. They started with these newcomer pageants when the children started doing it. And it's no way to stop this. There's no way to stop to tell pageants, okay, don't own a pageant. Okay, only let these newcomers do the pageant for whatever. But it has become a crutch. So now you got 14,677 motherfucking newcomer pageants. You got all these children that's sitting there, and you feel like you got to win 9 pageants before you can go do something. See, baby, we didn't have that. You got your ass in the ring with everybody. Like I said, the newcomers was on the only newcomer you got was you was on the damn talent show. After you did the talent show, after a while, you really because the pageants weren't there, and I just feel like it's got so saturated and we haven't nurtured it and loved it and like we should have. Now, is that something that I think that we can work on? Absolutely. And I think we should, but I think things happen so fast. Like so much has happened in my life from information sharing and stuff like that that has just changed the game. People get to have, everybody gets to comment. Like when we had pageants before, baby, first of all, if you didn't come, you didn't see, and you didn't know, because wasn't nobody having no Instamatic camera going to get them motherfucking things for you to see. You either came to the pageant or you didn't know, right? And so, but now people do live, people do this, and then everybody has a Facebook and a Instagram and a TikTok, and everybody gets to weigh in about what they thought about what you weighed and what you looked like and who turned it and whether it was fair and whether it's not, and they cheated and they didn't, and this is right and that's wrong. And so all of these opinions have come and just zapped the fucking fun out of the stuff. And I think that we need to take a step as a community and really start to understand now as we see that this whole industry, the foundation of this industry that we love so much and invest so much money and time in, it's being slowly chipped away. And if they're trying to chip away at it, we can't be chipping away at it from the inside. We have to really, really get together and start holding each other accountable about how can we make things better. Now, is everybody going to be satisfied? Hell no,
Mhm.
they're
Well,
not.
let me let me
But
let me let me pin something right quick because I don't want to
okay,
lose the thought of it. So you
okay.
said that we now have the lives and everybody can click on and everybody can talk about what you wore and what you should have done. Was that not done back in the day? It's just now it's broader.
I maybe I just never heard it because we didn't have the avenues to.
Oh, I think he clicked off. Um, Hold on, because that was getting too good. Because um, you good over there? Somebody hacked your page?
My email and I've been over here dealing with
Sorry,
it.
It's
sorry.
okay.
Mm. Oh, I think I hit that button down there.
Yeah.
Um, um, no, I don't, because like I said, you couldn't talk about it if you didn't have and we were watching it for pure entertainment purposes once the tape came out, because number one, you had to wait about a month or so for the damn tape to come out. It wasn't that instant gratification like you did now, right? And then you didn't have so much say so. Like nobody was. It was all about enjoyment. We were having fun. Pageants used to be so fun. Going to them, competing in them, being with your peers. There wasn't a lot of the backbiting. Now, of course, you had girls that were against other girls, because every city area had their girl,
Mhm.
right? South Florida had her girls, Atlanta had their girls, Texas has their girls, you know, back then. And but it wasn't like it is now. It's so much backbiting, so much foolishness, people doing stupid shit by sharing people clothes. You couldn't share nobody clothes because baby, you wasn't over here. I wouldn't let you take no picture with no Instamatic camera for you to be able to show nobody what my shit was. But see now this stuff just goes, and it's just tarnishing the whole thing. And
Mhm.
I will say this publicly: that's a tired bitch that'll do some stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to clean it up. We're gonna have to start calling it for what it is. We're gonna have to start and come up with a long-term plan of how we are going to move this business forward in the atmosphere and the climate that we are in, because there's too many of us out here that love it.
Mhm. The atmosphere and the climate is very, very heavy financially when it comes to this art form. $10,000 when you last did Black Universe is probably $30,000 now.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of money that's being spent um, where the girls are not received if they wear their gown again. Wendell can't do his same talent that he did two pageants ago. I wouldn't dare be able to wear the same sports that I've worn the last two pageants. But you are requiring me to do a prelim, and I'm the only one showing up. You are requiring me to do all this prerequisites only for two or three girls to show up. How do you feel about that? Is that a
Well,
waste of time and money that I have to do a prelim and it's not even 12 girls at the national? Or is it just standard and you go with the flow? What does Andre
no.
think about that?
Well, from a business perspective now,
Mhm.
I think that we have got to start thinking conscious, right? And so, whether that means combining three prelim owners into one big prelim and you have a prelim, I'm on the fence about the requiring prelims, because because I just don't think I don't see the I don't see the need for them with the numbers, and the numbers are the numbers, and we got to start thinking a little bit easier. Now I know that's hard. That's hard when you know you come to the pageant and you see this girl and she comes and she spent all this money. She's got two JDs, she's got 10 dancers, she's got all this stuff. But I think that there's a way for us to have a great competitive pageant without being forced to spend that kind of money. And you just got to be creative in the way that you do it. Maybe your ass need to learn to sew for yourself a little bit. But I do think that the owners of these pageants as well, that we've got to start thinking like that, because times are not the same. First of all, ain't nobody, check writing and all that kind of stuff was big, big, big. That and boosting, all that stuff used to be big, baby. You ain't, baby, that ain't. Mm-mm, no, them little pieces you can't write them checks. That's not happening. Boost money, stunt money, it's not out there like that. And I don't think tricking is safe. And so you shouldn't necessarily be doing that either. We got some other things we need to be starting to think about, but we still can have pageants. Maybe we need to make these talents talent on single talents only. Maybe we need to try to think about doing that.
Mhm.
If you want to start talking about what real talent is.
So that's my next question. How do you, sitting on panels nationally judging, how do you judge the gospel girl who's by herself against the talent with 20 dancers? How is that
Uh,
comparable to you?
it depends on the score sheet.
Mhm.
Some score sheets are broken down to subcategories, makes that real simple, real easy. right? Everything has a point. You either get it or you don't. When you give me a range of points to deal with, and you give me, let's say, ain't no instructions, I've got 10 points. Them 10-point patches are hard because ain't nobody telling you five is for this, three is for this, two is for that. It's impress me and get where I feel you are on that impressive. Continental is pretty similar to that. You got a range of points that you give within superior, excellent, and good, and you're responsible. They tell you, hey, you know, to me, my personal opinion is that gospel is an anointed type of talent. Just because you know your words does not make it talent, because you should know the words because you ain't singing them. So
Right.
now, but I do believe that there's a difference between a number and a talent. Something needs to happen. Creativity in the music, creativity in the visual. There's something that you can always do to kind of make that you just doing it like at the bar. And this is, for your entertainment pleasure. This is so and so and such and such. I think there's a difference between a number and that. And the problem is that every girl wants to be able to do everything. And you can't. You got to find your lane. Dancers, it's easy for a dancer. If you're a dancer, why are you going to try to do a gospel number if that ain't what you do? But there are some girls out there that are truly anointed and know how to touch the soul down to the bottom of your toes doing that. Now, you can't be mad with her. Now, does that mean that you should do that? No, that's not what that means because you're not that girl. So you got to be able to find that out.
I hope people
So
are listening to this.
so I want people to kind of understand that. When people tell me, well, she knew she was. Well, baby, when you supposed to? No, that
That's the prerequisite to know your word.
you don't get no extra shit for that because you know your words. Come on now.
You are a well-known pageant coach, and you teach different entertainers to go about their pageant journey. How do you feel as a coach, but also as a judge, also as a former competitor, that now we're starting to see this trend where question and answer is being eliminated out of the categories? What's your take on that?
Oh, child, they do that to appease the children because everybody want to win. But I leave that up to the individual pageant because one thing that I think that we don't do enough of is that we don't make sure that all of the well, I won't say all of them, but some of the contests that the mission is clear. So let's say, let's use big systems for example. EOY, Entertainer of the Year. That's what it's called, right? And that is what they look for in their score sheet. It is about creativity. It is about entertainment. Okay, which comes in many shapes and forms.
Mhm.
Okay, that's over there. Okay, then you have these other systems that's got all this interview, they've got all that, over there, EOY question and answer 50 points. Nothing in comparison to the other categories. They just want to know, just want to keep it in there. Oh, yeah, we do want a glimpse of whether you can say your name and stand up and be able to go somewhere. But then there's other systems that is more about speaking engagements and being out in the forefront. So you make your pageant or you have it where that part is heavy. Now, again, but unfortunately, we exist in this world where everybody wants to win. Okay. And nobody wants to do the work because that's where the work is. The work is not in the talent because if you got a lot of money, you can buy a package. Okay.
Mhm.
You could buy a gal, you could buy 19,647 dancers, you could afford to put them in all their costumes and all that other kind of stuff, and you surround yourself. Oh, it's so pretty, it's so big, stuff is happening. I feel like I'm at Cirque du Soleil, yada, 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 boom. Okay. But then, you have some of these girls that if you really want to know what it is, just make your categories in that. So it depends on the owner of that. Now, I think everybody wants to win. No, but everybody just wants to win, which is why, again, with the newcomer thing, everybody wants to be a queen. You don't want to do the pageant if it's 8 people in the pageant because, girl, I might not win. Well, where they do that at? Even the lottery said you don't win if you can't win if you don't play.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so it just becomes a big old issue. And now when you come changing stuff and moving stuff and moving stuff, okay. There's some people that want to do it. sometimes it's redundant. People say, well, why you got interview and question? Well, first of all, it's their pageant, and if they want to have both, then you have both. But if you want to be about the stage, but is there a lot of staging going on anymore? It's not a lot of staging. It's not a lot of clubs. It's got a lot of shows. It ain't a lot of that. Everybody, once you win, what you do? You're taking pictures and you're walking to say who you are. Spending all this money to turn the walk. I don't know how we got there, but that's where we at.
Speaking of, everybody wants to be the queen. You've seen a lot of queens come and go throughout your years. Tell us what makes one a great queen in your lens.
After they won,
Yes.
you mean after they won? That has a plan of what it is that they want to do with this platform for the year, and that they're able to make it through the year in doing that. Kind of hard sometimes. Times are hard because everybody need money to do this stuff. But personally speaking, I think you should have your money before you run in the page. Because that's where it starts. If you're really serious, you need to be ready to reign if you're ready to run. Because how many times have we seen? Well, and it's crazy because I'm an advocate for fairness, and I treat bitches that the underdogs how to go whoop a bitch. I love a good underdog. Because, baby, we're going to study this score sheet. We're going to bring out the best in you. We're going to get you prepared. We're going to practice everything that needs to be practiced before you get there. And then you're just going to run through and we're going to let it fall where it falls. And if you win, then you win. But you also, in the process of getting ready to win, you got to be, it takes a lot to be a queen. And people just distort what that means sometimes to me. But, if you got a goal in mind and you have set aside, the time, the resources, the money, and you got a goal in mind that you want to do, this is what I'm going to do with this platform. And I don't care whether it's Miss Corner Store or whether it's Black Universe or it's EOY or USA or whatever it is. That's your time to shine once you're crowned.
Right.
And it should be synonymous with the brand, of course, right? But it also, you're the queen. You get to say, hey, this is what I want to do with my thing. I want to try. I'm winning because I want to travel and I want to showcase myself outside my home region. I want to break into the Midwest. I want to do this. I want to go out and feed the homeless with my crown on, and I want to be able to do that because I want to be able to make a difference and bring awareness to this. Like Renaissance brands itself as a service kind of pageant. That's a big thing, right? He makes that a component of it, right? That you really got to go do that. But that's just him. Some pageants don't want to be bothered about that, baby. I just want you to look good and I want you to be able to drag. Which to me, we've gotten away from that now. Like I said, Churn just want you to mum the words. Back in the day, the girl, you didn't do drag if you didn't do drag. Like you had to
Yeah.
do drag. Boo.
You stated that you are an advocate for fairness and the underdogs. We always often hear this is a business, and these systems are a brand. Do you feel at any point an executive decision sometimes need to be made for the business and the brand?
Fuck no.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck no. Because if you go, my point is don't take my money. If you don't want me, don't take my money. Don't let me run. Don't let me go through all of this and think I got a fair chance, and then I don't.
Mm.
Have you
Because
sat on any panels and that has happened to you, where
I
that girl didn't win or that guy didn't win? How did this happen?
no, I can't say that because if that's the case, I'm not sitting on that panel anymore.
Okay.
That has never happened to me, but I'm not the tabulator. I only go by. I can only go by. Uh, and that's never really happened to me in the sense of where I have been on the panel. Um, but that's a testy conversation with me because I feel that panels are systems should take better pride in preparing judges to sit on the panel. And just because you've won a pageant doesn't mean that you have the integrity or the full rounded capabilities of judging your peers. I think that is a trait that you must have a lot of integrity about, and you cannot be moved. And I think that it is up to the pageant owner to make sure that you have a full review of the scoring system, the descriptions, and that you need to stand by that, and that you need to be very cognizant of who it is that you have on your panel to make your choice.
Why do you think people are so in this defense when you have a person on the panel that has never ever stepped on stage or competed before, but they still know the craft? Why do you think people are so against someone judging that, well, you never did this before, why are you judging me?
I don't know.
Do you think that that's fair? Or do you think a person can be
No.
a great judge and not have did that?
No, because the reason that you have 7 people, 5 people, or whatever it is, because you want you want a well-rounded professional opinion. Like I don't expect a makeup artist to have been in a pageant. Like you ain't got to be to know makeup. Like Trent do amazing makeup, and amazing makeup. You ain't got to have been in drag to know that. Now that's just me. Again, I just think that that's the people, and you're gonna always have the people. The girls ain't never gonna be satisfied.
Mm-mm.
You got girls that have broke the motherfucking building, and you got a problem because you didn't win, because you didn't think. Oh, really? Because you didn't think of the idea before she thought of it, and she turned it, and you were like, "Well, girl, if I knew I could cover my face up and not have to, it's always something." And
Right.
that's just gonna happen. We human. That's the human experience. It is, but I don't think that that's necessary for do, especially if there's a person of integrity and they understand the rest of the stuff that goes with the score sheet besides the makeup or besides the hair. I do pride that I think that you have to have some awareness to this type of pageant. I'm not with a heterosexual girl off the street that does not know anything about this craft, okay, in a pageant where there's going to be boy queens mixed in with transy girls. Because it's not about how necessarily real you look that in these cases and in these spaces. And so, but I think that's something that goes along with training, just like anybody else. Before you put them on your sales floor, you're going to send them through sales training, right?
Right.
You're going to learn your product. You're going to learn how it works. You're going to learn the disclaimers. You're going to learn everything about it. And now I can send you back out on my sales floor to bring the children in. And I don't think that they do that enough sometimes on panels.
A topic that has been discussed recently is the cisgender women competing in our drag pageants. What's your take on that?
I don't like it.
Okay. I'm just laughing at how you said it, but okay, you don't like it.
Me no like it.
Okay, me no like it.
Me
Is
no
there a
like it.
specific reason why, or you just feel?
I just no. I mean, some people say it's the same as having a trans girl in with a boy queen. No, it's not. Not to me. But I think that I believe in inclusion, and I believe that there are some pageants out there that like that, right, and they're entitled to that. If that's what you want to do, if everybody is coming to the table with that particular understanding, but I just personally think that that's not what that ain't what this ever was for me. I'm old school now, right?
You.
You know?
You teach, you groom, you coach. So say you have a client that comes to you and say they want to do Mr. or Miss X, Y, and Z. But you personally feel that's not a good fit for you for whatever reason. How do you handle that?
Not my dream, not my story, not my learning thing. Because everything is not about, you got to learn that for yourself. If this is where you want to go, then let's study where it is that you want to go. Let's try to find you in this set of parameters for where this is that you want to go. Do I think this a proper fit? Not necessarily so, but it ain't my story. I'm here to help you be the best version of yourself with whatever it is that you decide. Because guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to learn what you need to learn. You're either going to crack the code and stand up to where this is that you want to go that you don't necessarily fit and find a way to fit, or you're going to say, baby, you was right. I might need to go on over here. But it's not about easier. See, that's another problem I think people have. People want everything to be so goddamn easy. And it's not easy. It's not gonna be easy. Everything ain't gonna be easy.
In competitions, whether it be in clothing categories or talents, do you find it or have you found it throughout the years that certain girls or guys can get away with something that the next girl can't?
Yeah.
How do you, as a coach and a judge, as a mentor, deal with that? How do you handle that from your perspective or from your lens?
Are they one of the persons that can get away with it, that they can do what they can do, or are they one of the persons that want to do something and they
So
ain't got
there's
no
a
business?
client that maybe want to do something and
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't get away with it, or they were not received
Mm-hmm.
how the person favorite was. We'll say we often hear this: if X, Y, and Z would award, they would have broke the building, or
Well,
X, Y, and Z can push the envelope. You can't. You're not her or him.
hey.
He said, "Okay,
Some girls got it, some girls don't.
okay, okay,
Uh,
all right."
some girls can do it, some girls can't. Now, and that gets a little touchy because there's a difference between whether a girl can carry something versus her not being held to the standards that everybody else is being held to. Now, those are two different things to me. Now, sometimes people would use that excuse and say, "Oh, well, girl, she can just do that." But you're holding a blind eye to what she's doing versus a girl that has the flavor on stage with it and know what to do with it versus you just thinking that this shit raggedy, bitch. How she beat me in this category and this shit raggedy just because she pretty. Because you would think that somewhere in the clothes, somewhere in the scoring with the clothes and these seams ragged, the zipper showing, you would think that that's gonna bring the score down, right? But like I said, you got some professional bitches out there that know how to model. You don't even know this
Yo,
motherfucking zipper is.
is wow,
You'll never see that side, bitch. You'll
right.
never see that side.
We have a question in the comments that's really a good one. Do you think there's a time limit that one should do a particular pageant? A girl has been to this particular pageant 9 times. Is it time for
Mm-hmm.
her to move on, or does she keep going 10, 11, and 12?
Depends on what else she doing. Some people, that's all they want to do. Sometimes that's all they want to be. They don't have the energy isn't there to do something else. They want to do this. And that's totally up to them. Now, do I think that there is a thing as in finding where the love for you is? Yes. And I think you should. I think you should explore those things. But, it's trial and error with that. I know it'd be hard for me to go somewhere 9 years,
Mhm.
10 years, every year, because, what happens with you is that you really do try to outdo yourself.
Mhm.
And that's just natural, I think.
Right.
And why don't you take some of this thing to a new audience? Because unfortunately, the reality of it is that, you know, once we've seen something 6 times, does anything have the same power that it has? It doesn't. And you can't doubt that that's a reality of the human experience. It just is. Especially when it comes to comparative stuff, right? And that's why I tell people all the time, they used to tell you all the time, you know, about repeating talents. Well, I can tell you that doing them talents, when you do them the first night, You start off at half mast the next time you do it because everybody we didn't see it. Sorry. The expectation, right, is gone. And there is something that goes along with that. That's why we tell girls change the costumes, change the mix at the ending, do something else to create that, that little bit of change and hiatus. But that's what it depends on where you're going, and that's just something that you pause with as the entertainer.
Where do you think the creativity stopped and got lost?
Everything has been just about repeated. History repeats itself. All this stuff, people think they're doing new shit. Y'all ain't doing no new shit. Man. Been doing this shit. Y'all, we've been doing this shit warmed over for years.
Okay.
Baby, it's us all coming back with it may be a different flair to it, and different little stuff like that. Only thing is new is with these goddamn boys wearing these goddamn cha-cha boots.
So talk to us
You
about
know.
that. What's your take on that? It seems to be the issue, conversation about the males being feminine and wanting to be the queens now. They're wearing the heels and purses and the bags. What's your take on that?
Well, I was raised old school. The boys was the boys and the girls was the girls. If you want to be a girl, you go do the talent show and the turnabout.
Mhm.
Now, there is a difference between a man being a soft man and you exuding feminism. And so I'm not with a boy doing boy stuff because the boys want to put girls' shoes on. You want a heel on a boot? There are plenty of boots to go find that are men's boots that have a 2.5 inch, 2 inch heels on it. Google them, baby. Versace, all of them, they got one for you if you want one. A stack boot for men, that you can find it. Because to me, they look like girl shoes, you know? But, you know, it's fashion and there are some boys that can wear it. Like, I tell this story a lot of times. Our Darius used to do this song called Butch Queen Up in Pumps. And Bert, that was his moneymaker, baby. If there was a bill due and he needed it, he pulled that out, baby, and it was going down. But our Darius his persona was so masculine, even though that he was doing this number in these high heel boots, it gave this nigga in high heel boots doing this song. So it all worked. Versus you have this feminine guy trying to do Butch Queen of a Dance. First of all, that's an oxymoron because you're not a Butch Queen. You playing in girl shoes. So it's different. So it's not going to read the same. And so now you got that somebody they want to put them boots on just because you saw somebody with the boots on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's where we are. We're in a copy. Nobody has any innovation. Everybody who you don't want to wear this to somebody you've seen somebody. And same thing with these sportswears now. They got to be on the runway somewhere for you to find a picture of it. For you to say, "Oh, girl, this gonna be my new sportswear." You're not that. That's not style to me. And some people have personal style, which they can take these things and put them together, right? Not out the mannequin and you went to Gucci and this is how Gucci has to give me all that. Here you your $5,000. No, they may like that Gucci shoe. They will go to one of these other places and find a great ball man suit and put those together with the tie may or the shirt may be somebody else. And when you put that together and it creates these moments, that is when you start talking about style. And so I don't know where this got to where the boys want to wear these girl boots, these high heels, especially when you walking like a boy in pumps. So there's some boys that can do it, you know?
Okay.
I know, but
Okay.
that's just my take.
No, we get it. Ken, you got
Mhm.
it. Why do you feel that our black systems get such a bad rep when it comes to business opposed to our counterpart systems?
Oh, well, I don't really think it's all really that a lot of that a lot of difference. It's
Mhm.
just that you know the white ones can just do it a little better than we do. So it's they keep it Nobody knows to turn no. I don't know that somebody knows how to keep their mind flows or something like that. I think they all have a propensity to do it. Um, but I just think that because we want, we want quick gratification.
Mhm.
We want quick gratification. We want this to be the biggest. We want to have the most contestants. We want this to happen. I want this girl to wear. I want the image of my system to be this. Well, that ain't how that works. But when we owned our prelim to Miss Nationals, let me tell you something. These girls, everyone gonna be different. Some of them you gonna want to keep in love. Some of them you can't wait till these bitches for the goddamn pageant to come so you can get rid of their ass.
Mhm.
And that's just what you got to go into it realizing. Some of them gonna be beautiful on the inside. Some of them gonna be shitty on the inside and just pretty on the goddamn outside.
Mhm.
Some of them gonna come to you because they really want you to help them. Some of them gonna come because all they want you to do is empty your pockets out. That's
Mhm.
what they want, and they all come for a reason. And you don't know till you get them
Mhm.
sometimes, and so you deal with it. That's your job as the owner and the promoter. It's to deal with these hoes. Do what you got to do to them. Get till we get on with the next one. And you just keep it. You keep it moving.
Gotcha. Standard. What system? These next questions will probably put you on the spot because you have to name
Oh
it.
shit.
But what
Oh shit.
system would you say is the standard when it comes to drag pageantry?
Whew. With, I mean, it's a lot of them for different reasons. I love Continental for starting on time. I love it that the girls want to be it so bad that they bring their very best, and I love being entertained like that. I love a pretty bitch that can walk the runway. And I that's what I love about this system. And then you gonna keep me in here all night. So it's certain parts about that I love, and certain parts about it that I don't really love. You know, I'm sure people talked about this. Backstage there's a lot. It's usually a lot going on back there, tight.
Yes.
Um, and that kind of stuff like that. Politics, they say, stuff like that. So I love that for that. I love Black America, and because it is to me, if you want to talk about the standard, that's probably because it's been said before, but it is. I feel like they go real, real, real hard to try to keep the what you would think a Black America a black entertainer in America would be and she should be. How you carry yourself, the movement, getting out there amongst the people, knowing who you are. That's what you do that for. Black Universe is the paya to the paya to the paya. It's always been a little extra. Those two sisters, Black Universe and Black America, have always been different. When Paris, France came to Atlanta to win Black America and Black Universe, she didn't bring the same package. She bought one package that was Black America. First night, real simple, real lady, real wonderful. The next night, she bought something different that had a little more pop, pop, pop to the pop, pop to it because the systems are different. And most of the time, the girls created that. Like Miss Nationals, when they started creative costume, nobody knew where that was going to go. Everybody thought, oh, some girls decided to be funny. I remember Rita Ross, Nancy Kerrigan had just motherfucking popped that hole on the ice skating rink, baby, and Miss Rita did that for Mother Creative Costume. When I tell you, the children hollered. So, we don't know where some of these categories are kind of really gonna kind of go. So I love a lot of them for, their standards in different aspects because they all have beautiful things about them that I really love. And so, I guess because I've been to so many, you just learn to love them, for what they bring.
Do you think an entertainer should be held at a different standard or judged harder because of maybe their off-stage reputation?
Um, hmm. I think that no, I don't think they should be judged harder. I do think that if that is a concern, that it's a valid question that you should ask them in the appropriate category if you're concerned about it. Now, like I say, if it's that bad and you don't want to be fooled with it, just tell her, hey girl, Don't do that. We good over here with you. I know you want to be this. You do. I know. But next to no. That's all. It's real
Okay.
simple. But I
Um,
don't. I don't. No. I don't.
yeah,
I don't. It is what it is.
yes. Um, because you've been around and you've seen different people popping up and you've seen different entertainers, give us three up and coming entertainers that you think will have a long history in this industry if they keep on the right track. Who are some girls that are and or guys that you
Mhm.
like at this moment?
I love that Sapphire Dupree girl,
Hmm?
the little newcomer girl. She just moved from. She moved to DC area from where was she at before? South Carolina, somewhere like that. But anyway, she did Sweetheart Newcomer.
Hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? She
Yeah,
been
I know.
opened up. Okay, her. I think once she need to get the right team to and stuff like that. But I love her. Fire. Um, boys wise, I think this Ezekiel boy that did Black America last year
Yes.
gonna be a problem. If he wants to continue to do this, he's kind of dipping his feet in. This is something that clearly he is interested in. Um, has done it the right way, I think. I think Exotic will be around for a long time.
Hmm.
He seems to be enjoying this and found his footing. Beautiful man, wonderful, very dedicated into, he puts a lot into his packages.
Hmm.
Other girls that's going to be around a long time. Oh, our Georgia Premier Queen that just got first runner up at Miss Continental. She's young, beautiful trans woman. Does a lot in the community. Really is what a true showgirl. This is her life. I think she's just getting her feet wet, and she'll be whatever the hell she wants to be.
Right.
Who else I'm missing? There was a girl that did Cheyenne Supreme Continental. Um, she did, and she ended up doing Continental. What is her name? She a dancer, but she sung Final
Olivia.
Night.
Olivia.
Olivia, baby, I just want to. You know her?
She just moved to Atlanta.
Did she? Well, I
Hmm.
got my eyes on her, baby. She had gave me everything. I see the potential because I see
Yeah,
the
she's
potential.
amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
And she
So
makes her
she
own
just
stuff. She makes her hair,
really,
makes her clothes. Yeah.
yeah, she just need to get with the right, people. But it's so easier to be a boy entertainer when it comes to that, right? Because we boys all the time, right? But when you're a girl and it's a lot more hair, makeup, undergarments, the garment. It's just it's a lot to come together, and it's expensive, and you need people in your corner, and unfortunately, sometimes we are we come with a lot of pain, just learning to survive, the ability to do that, and the things that you run into, and you got to have somebody around you that's going to help you process all of that and be better. Sometimes it needs counseling. I don't think that's something that we preach enough that we should do. um, but like I tell people, you're only good as your ability when you go into these counseling sessions.
Hmm.
Every counselor is not for you. You have to find the right one, and then you have to go be prepared to be open to really heal yourself. I had a lot of counseling for different things. Um, you know, some of the couple of the counselors wasn't for me, but when I found the ones that
Okay.
were good for what they were, and they're not all the same for the same subject matter, right? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, for different type of traumas and stuff like that. So,
Mount Rushmore. So I'm gonna let you do two. Who would
mhm.
you? What four male entertainers would you put on your Mount Rushmore, and what four female entertainers would you put on a Mount Rushmore?
Oh God. Okay, my males.
Mhm.
Um, Joe Jackson. Um, Mount Rushmore. Oh girl. Ooh, I'm gonna go with Johnny Thomas.
Mhm.
I'm going to go with Tim Bohar.
Mhm.
Um, I need one more. Who? Oh, I'm probably gonna go Christopher Iman.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. And the four girls?
Four girls. Oh Jesus. I know some. Girl, we talk about 40 years of
Right.
girls.
So you know some girls.
Um, yes, I know some girl. I'm gonna go with Tiffany Ariagas. I'm gonna go with Paula Sinclair.
Mm,
I'm gonna go with Mimi Marks.
mhm.
And I'm gonna go with. And I don't know if people would know who Yativa Antoinette was.
Oh,
She's an old school girl from Atlanta. Back in the '80s. Um, and she was just that only because, like, if I was going to do drag, I would want to be her.
mhm,
She was a twirler dancer in a high heel,
mhm.
boy queen that just, oh my God, Miss Shativa was the shit,
Okay.
you know. Um, but that's an old school girl.
Okay. Are you taking on new clients and new people to coach?
Always. Well, I'm the coach and mentor for Georgia Premier Continental.
Right.
I'm getting ready to be the head coach for Supreme. I don't think. Well, I guess it's just Supreme. I guess that's what it is. So I'm always here to help. I'm always here to coach. I'm always here to, I found out once I met my husband that I am a competitive motherfucking bitch. I'm just competitive. I did not really realize that. Like I've always loved pageants and stuff like that, but he loves sports, and so I am just like once I started hanging out with him and watching sports more and stuff like that, I'm just a competitive bitch,
Okay.
and
Well,
I just
pageantry is
so
definitely a sport.
yes, it
Yeah,
definitely is a sport.
definitely a
So
sport.
I'm with any hoe that say, hey, look, I want to go up here and get me a piece. Oh, you do? And then they
Yep.
tell me where they want to go. Depending upon where they want to go, I ask them all the questions up front. You know what you're getting yourself into here.
Mhm,
Do you know what you're looking at here? When
mhm.
we talk about Black Universe, listen, baby, 10 points per category. You got a lot of money, a lot of money. You need a lot of money.
So speaking of that, give me one male and one female that you would like to coach into pageantry if you could get your hands on them.
Mm, I'm going to be real honest.
Mhm.
I got two girls. Can I do two?
You can do however many you want. This is your interview.
Okay, okay. The two girls would be Aria Cassadine and Gia Teju.
Oh, Gia,
Hmm.
she be watching. Gia, she's on her way back to NBU, so we're gonna get her to you. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right.
Um, boys. Who? Who do I really, 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 really? I like Ezekiel, but I think he good. I
Mhm.
think he. I think he. I think he. I think he good. Over there, we'll see. I don't. I just know who he is. I'm just an avid. I
Yeah.
love everything he brings. But that can be hard when you're new to this and breaking in, and so many people are telling you what
Mhm.
to do.
Yeah.
And I just hope that he has a solid go to that has some internal experiences that can keep him very grounded and be very realistic in finding that thing between what contest he does and who he wants to be as an entertainer to
Right.
find that and to direct him into that because a
Because
lot
when
of
you
times
hot,
people
they all pulling at you when you
they're
hot.
all they're all pulling at you, right? And you just gotta really have some honest conversations, with yourself about what do you want this persona to be? What do you want, what do you want your, when people call your stage name, what do you want them to immediately, think about and say about you?
Okay.
Um, but I don't think he needs no help, but I would love to be a mentor to him. And another one, who else? I'm trying to think who what boys do in pageants that well, I got my sons. I do have two gay sons. Rachel Meredith is my baby mama. So we have two kids together. We have Cashmere, Kenneth Cashmere, and we have uh Jay Meredith.
Mhm.
And so they're really my two boys that I'm kind of investing time and
Okay.
money and kind of stuff into. The rest of the boys, I want them to want to work with me. So a lot of times for the
Yeah.
boys, because I
Gotcha.
wanted to be open, because I'm probably a little harder on them than I am um, on girls a little bit. And I don't know whether that's because I did male lead or whatever, but I really try to hone in a lot of things because I do have a image that I like to,
Uphold.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Um, legacy. When they call your name 50 years from now, what do you want to
ooh.
be remembered, or who do you want to be remembered as? And when it comes to this community,
I just want to be somebody that loved, pushed, motivated, and left. I want people to, I found out that people say great things about me and enjoy working with me, and I want them to continue to say that. I want to continue to give because I love this craft. Because it has been the one most continuous thing for as long as I can remember that has given me so much love, joy, and fulfillment. It has pushed me. Doing pageants, promoting pageants has created some relationships that have been lifelong that I will have forever. We will be old men, old ladies laughing about the good old days in our 67 and our 70s and 80s and maybe even 90s if that's to happen. And I
yeah,
just want people to when they think of me to smile and to laugh and think about say that bitch was crazy.
yeah,
And
we definitely found that out tonight.
yeah.
When you look back over your entire life, 60 years old, with no definition explanation, what one word sums up Andre Brown?
um one word.
One word.
Um extravagant.
Okay. Okay. So, before King asks the last question, let me just say again, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Amazing conversation with you. We knew you in passing, or I knew you in passing and stuff like that. And we know we see you out. You've judged several systems that I'm a part of, and of course you did with Renaissance. But to get on here and to learn so much about you and your personality outside of these arenas where we see you in, it was so refreshing. And then to know your perspective behind the scenes on things, and then also your love for this art form is definitely something that we can all smile about, because a lot of our elders have lost the love for whatever reason. And it's good to know that we have someone that is still there trucking and want us to do good and want us to get back to where it could be in a lot of aspects. So thank you for talking to us for these 2 hours and 40 minutes and getting to know you on a different level and being transparent and open about, things that happen in your life, things that you went through, things that you did. But I have one last question before King asks his. Do you ever
Mhm.
look back, and I wouldn't use the word regret, but do you ever look back and wish that you might have won Mr. Sweetheart, Mr. Black America, or became a ruler? Has that ever crossed your mind?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to really be these things and you know, bitches try to say they do, but you baby, you don't never forget. You don't never wish you had it because that's the goal. Is not necessarily to win because I think I won right in life in those things. Like I can pack now. I know how to get sickening. I know how to get done. I know how to do all of that because of all of this. Is you helped me, like I said, build relationships and learn about business and all of that. Um, so did I want to win? Oh girl, I want to be sweetheart bad. About as bad as I want to be Black Universe.
Oh wow.
Um, I did. And if I hadn't met my husband when I did Universe in '08, I would have had to go get me a piece of that Black America because I sometimes I try to talk myself into saying I could do it, and I'm not
What,
too old. But bitch,
what's the
oh
problem?
no, um, I got old and fat,
and you
and
done sat on that panel.
yeah. Oh
So
well,
you
I don't
won.
think that was
You actually won. Now
yeah.
you create the winner. So hey, you won. You
Well,
did.
yeah, I guess you're right. But like I said, I still fantasize. I
Yeah.
still there's still days, times, nights where I feel like, well, girl, if you go get the lipo on your back and then you go to the gym, you increase your protein, you lose it, girl, you could do it.
Yeah.
You get
Well, they
You
have
are
at large
hilarious.
system. They have at large system.
well, they do, but I'm a little too vain for at large.
Oh, okay. That's a whole other topic. um, where can we see you at next? Will you be at King and Queen?
Unfortunately, I will not. My husband and his friends have a big Christmas party, and it is that weekend. So I
Okay.
will not be, and I want to be there
Oh, because they about
so
to that.
bad.
Oh, you seen the list? Oh,
Woo! I ain't
they
seen the
about to
list,
battle.
What's the
but
list?
I, I know a couple. But I know a couple,
Yes.
and it's one I've been talking to that I want to. I can't wait. I hope all this stuff comes right on together, and we
Yeah.
go ahead and put that now.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, what I'm sure you'll be on the internet peeping since now everything is live.
Absolutely, I will. Where will I be next? What's this is? What's today? This this
Today
is
is the
December.
this
second.
is
Are we in December?
December.
December.
This is December. Oh, Michael gonna kill me. Georgia premiere Continental
Okay.
is April something. I will be there. We will be crowning the next Mr. and Miss Georgia Pimento. We'll be honoring um uh
Lana.
Holland, Lana Lux and Holland. And of course, we will have the Miss Continental and Mr. Continental, Godfrey Arubolo. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. I messed that up. I know I did. I'm sorry. And of course, my wonderful friend, Mr.
Isaac.
Isaiah.
Isaiah Sanchez Hilton. Very special place in my heart. Um, I worked with him a lot before he went to his contest, and I was so happy when they called
Good. And you will be on the panel at Black America, correct?
him. Yes, as far as I know, if they continue to have me, yes, I
He's not
was
gonna move.
last
He not.
year.
He's. You're not the one he's removing. Anyway,
Oh, oh,
we'll
oh,
talk about that later. Uh,
oh, girl.
you won't get me and sit in my system. But
Oh,
go ahead. But go ahead, King. Go ahead and get our last question for our guest because I know that his husband probably is looking at him like, wait a minute now, 2 hours.
no, you know what? You know what? It's funny that you would kind of bring that up, and I know we got to go because we've been pop. I can pop my guns for a while. Is that my husband is so sharing? Like he knows who
Okay.
I am. We've been dating for 19 years.
Wow.
Married for 5. And so he knows me, and he is good because he knows he gets his time. He makes sure that I know how to juggle that, but he is good with
So he's the sharing
sharing.
one. So he had siblings.
Yes, he did. He's the youngest of 5.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So he knows about sharing, and you was
Yes, he knows that.
you had to learn. You had to
I'm the
learn.
bitch. Yes, I'm the bitch with the problem that says this is my shit and what are you doing?
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead, King.
So again, thank you so much. I feel like I've known you for a very long time. I've never just had a real conversation with you.
Right.
Mhm.
But it was really, really enjoyable because I didn't know that you cuss so much. And I didn't know that you was so fun cussing. So at least you're a happy cusser.
I am. I am.
So we ask all of our guests to like leave us and our our viewers with a nugget, something that we can take with us through our journey, something that has helped you, something you can share with us.
It's just listen, we're all gonna meet our maker one day. And I want everyone, if anybody, to do is that when you wake up in the morning, have great intentions when you get up.
Mhm.
Every morning, great intentions. Find you a higher power. Mine is Jesus Christ. But find you something that is bigger than you, that gives you purpose, that you can go to in the midnight hours. And if you need to, that's never gonna let you down. And sometimes when you have that spiritual connection like that, it doesn't matter about what someone else's opinion is. When you
Yeah.
make peace with that, and you get up in the day and you move with purpose, and try to be great. And we're living in some crazy, crazy, crazy times right now. So let's be kinder to each other.
Yeah.
Remember why, and for those people that are friends that argue and stuff, go back to the times where you remember why you were friends. Remember the happy times. Unfortunately, there are situations that we cannot come back from and things that cannot be prepared. But try, do your very best to be kind, to be nice, and stop cheating.
Miss. Thank you so much, Andre. This
Stop
will stay
cheating.
up. Of course, it'll stay up on Facebook for 30 days, but it'll also
Mhm.
be on YouTube's for all the people that go back and watch it if you ever want to share it with others. But we appreciate you for coming on and being a part of our family. So anything that you have going on that you need us to promote or announce on the show, by all means, don't hesitate to ask. Okay?
I will. Well, thank you guys so much.
And
I'm so
Thank you.
yeah,
proud
I
of
don't
the
know where
both
we're
of
gonna see you
y'all. I look
next,
forward.
but we'll see you around because we know you be around. So
Yeah, girl. Like I said, you're gonna see me at Georgia Premiere. I am the head coach for Mr. and Miss and Plus Supreme. That
We're
is
gonna
in
see you at Black
July, August.
America.
Oh,
yes, Black
definitely at Black
America.
America. Oh, what's that? March
Yeah.
14th,
20th.
maybe 13th, March 20th. And definitely I'll be there. And anybody else, anywhere else, I'll be around. So y'all hit me up now. Here.
He's willing to help you, so hit him up if you know you need that. Gia, let me call Gia right now because he did it. All right, thank you, Andre. We'll see you
Bye,
later. Have a
Bye.
good one.
y'all. Take care. Bye.
So that was a great show, guys. I don't know what happened to Wendell. He got off, but that was a great show, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Andre was amazing. Again, this will stay up. Don't forget this Friday, Tallahassee, Florida, 4:30 p.m. The big beautiful gala along with the Tallahassee Pride Mr. Miss will be going on. Sunday, I don't know how I forgot this. This weekend is Duval, doing Duval. Film and MI is Saturday. Duval Newcomer is Sunday. You can come out and see former Miss Duval Plus will be in the building judging as well as entertaining. And then Monday is Sasha's benefit or charity show. Make sure that you all are in the building for Tasha Long, Tommy Ross, the Rulers will be in the building. Chantel DeMarco, Angelica Sanchez. It's a line up. I think Isaiah as well as Godfrey will be there. Myself. So come out and support that at 10 p.m. at the Heretic. Until then, we have a great guest next week. The GOAT. He is definitely one of the GOATs in the industry. So check him out on next Tuesday the 9th. We'll drop him tomorrow. Other than that, thank y'all for always being supportive these last 2 years, and we'll see you on next week. Have a good one.